Okay, so as I say, so this segment is called Master Mindfulness. Like a mastermind, but it's mindfulness too. So round one, so we have 3 rounds. The first round is Ajahn Brahm and his life. So there'll be a series of questions. Some will be multiple choice, some are just questions, and you just have to figure out what's the answer. Try and write the closest answer that you can remember. Yeah? Some are pretty easy, some are, like I say, silly. Okay, next one. So here comes the first question. Ajahn Brahm's lay name was Peter. But what was the name Ajahn Brahm was first known as a baby? A, it's Paul. B, it's John Peter. Please don't. Jeff, please keep the answer to yourself. B is John Peter. C is Peter Rabbit. D is baby rabbits. Baby bat, sorry, not baby rabbit. Please keep the answer to your group. Don't share the answers. So if for example, it's A, then you just need to write 1A, okay? Then I will give you all the answer, and then you all can just mark yourself, right? Okay? This is pretty simple, isn't it? So far, yes. Okay. All right. Okay, everyone ready with the answer? Okay, I'm going to give the answer and then you all can mark it yourself. So the answer is D. D for donkey. Baby bats. His parents had no name for him originally, as they were certain they were having a daughter. I didn't know about that. But Ajahn Chanda today on the way to here, she was like, yeah, the parents actually had a name for a girl, which was Susan. So he would have been Susan. Okay, next question. Ajahn Brahm loves, can you see the love is in between inverted commas? Ajahn Brahm loves to eat vegetables. Name his 2 most favorite vegetables with an S. Ajahn Brahm loves to eat vegetables. So does he really love to eat vegetables? Name his 2 most favorite vegetables. I can hear people whispering, and I did hear a right answer. So there's 2. Are you all done? Yes? You got 2? So on Friday when Ajahn Brahm was here, I had to get the answer for a few questions. So then I asked him, and then on Friday night, he actually talked about it. And then he said, Leha, but sorry, I have to say this. So if you remember his Friday night talk, a number of answers were actually in there. Anyway, and not this one though. Okay, everyone got the answer? What answer did you write? Shout out. Potato and peas? Everyone got potato and peas? I think chips is acceptable. So it has to be 2. So you get 2 points for this. So it's 1 point for potato or chips, 1 point for peas. Yeah? Okay, so score yourself. Because at the end of the 3 rounds, I need you all to tell me what's the total. All right. Next question. Vegetables. Not so much baked beans. Yeah. And I verified with Ajahn Brahm. At first I said potato, he said peas as well. Okay, so at what age did Ajahn see a Buddhist monk for the first time? Okay, this might be a difficult one. If the question is difficult, you can blame Aurora for it. Aurora was very kind. She helped me with the questions. Huh? Yes, no Googling, please. No use of mobile devices. At what age did Ajahn see a Buddhist monk for the first time? Okay, everyone got an answer? Ready? Okay, what's your guess? What? 18? 18? Anyone has a different answer than 18? Huh? 14? No? I won't ask the nun. Won't embarrass them. Okay. The correct answer is 18. It's C. Wow, you guys are pretty good. You can call yourself a true Ajahn Brahm's disciple. All right, next one. After university, Ajahn Brahm taught in a high school for a year before leaving to ordain as a monk. What special award did Ajahn confer upon a young student who got the lowest mark in class? This should be an easy one. Even if you have a spelling mistake, it is okay, as long as you can tell me what it is. This should be a simple one. Okay, are we ready? So what award did he confer on this student? Okay, can I have some answers? This group? Yes, Bodhisattva. Who else? No? What? Did you have Bodhisattva? Okay. What other groups? Bodhisattva? Everybody has Bodhisattva? Okay. Like I say, if you don't get the spelling right, that's fine. That's the right answer, Bodhisattva Award. Okay, next question. This is a difficult one. Ajahn Brahm ordained in Bangkok in 1974. What does Ajahn ordained name Brahmavanso mean? Thanks to Aurora. It's quite a long answer, but if you get the main one right, consider right. Gaia. Gaia? Still having problem? All good? Yay, okay. I hope you'll get this right. He will be very disappointed if you didn't get this right. Did someone Google? Or did anyone has my answer sheet? I was quite careful not to leave my answer sheets anywhere. Okay. What's your answer? Lineage of Brahma. Yep, that's okay. He of Brahma's lineage, that's the accurate answer. Did you have the answer? That group? No? No? Okay. So 0 point for that group. Lucky's group? Did you have the right answer? So the right answer is he of Brahma's lineage. If you have the word Brahma lineage, that's good enough, yeah? Okay, next question. Okay, are we ready for question 6? What nightmare did Ajahn Brahm have after he first ordained as a monk? Actually, Aurora was quite kind. She had like multiple choice, but I took away the choices. I was quite mean. She was quite kind. I'm the wicked one, I think. Okay, so what nightmare did he have? All right, I'll start with the group at the end. What was the nightmare? Okay, that's all right. Huh? Okay, all right. What else? That he was what? He was no longer in robes. Okay. Yeah. Okay, all right. That's a very long answer. Yeah, okay, good. All right. Yes, so that's the right answer, that he was a lay person. Okay, next one. That should be an easy one. I hope the nuns get this correct. Next question, Chia. What event which Ajahn Brahm was instrumental in was listed by the American Buddhist pundit as the third most significant event in the entire Buddhist world in 2009? Okay, I'll need to send any group that gets this wrong answer to the out of the meditation hall. You can't call yourself a Ajahn Brahm disciple if you don't know this answer. Okay, let me start with the group here. So what was the event? Yes, okay. Did everybody have that answer? Sure? Okay, very good. All of you get to stay here. That's 1 point. Okay. All these questions seem to be very easy, you know, Aurora? Even when I took out the multiple choices. Okay. All right, next one. Okay. This one is quite funny. As a monk, Ajahn Brahm should not listen to songs, but he has a favorite song that he can listen to. What is the name of the song? Oi, oi. Please don't say out the answer. I think all these questions are so easy. There'll be difficult ones coming. Tricky ones, not difficult, but tricky. Okay. Who should I call? Lucky's group. Are you done? What is the song? Oh, they're talking, that means they don't know. Obviously, they don't listen to songs. Okay, wait. So if you don't get it right, that means you get 0 points, huh? Okay. All right, I think that group got it. What's the song? Wait, what's the song? The Sound of Silence, yes. So it's the sound of silence, not the song of silence, huh? So you need to get this one right. The sound of silence. So if you get it right, then you get 1 point for this one. All right. The next one. This is the one that I asked Ajahn Brahm on Friday, just to confirm. And then he mentioned it during the talk. As a young boy, Ajahn Brahm once played a trick on his mum. On her birthday, he presented her with a nicely wrapped birthday present. What was in the present? Ajahn Brahm was like so tickled when I told him I'm asking this question. And he's like, it was so embarrassing. And then on Friday night, he sat here and he looked at me and he said, Leha, but sorry, I'm going to say this. All right. Okay, I need to get this very accurate. So, yeah? Okay, this group. Very good. I'm not sure whether eel is acceptable. It has to be live. Yes. Okay, hold on for a while. What is that? Live eel? Live eel, sorry, I have to say no to eel. Because it could be a dead eel, then it's not funny. Sorry about that. And Ajahn Brahm did stress to me that it's live eel. Okay, next one. What did Ajahn Brahm give to a homeless person to India on his way to Bulgaria? A hug. B, tea with condensed milk. C, cheese. D, lollies. Aurora, I think you didn't. I think you didn't have the multiple choice. Yeah, so I added that. You like my choices? So what did he give to the homeless person in Bulgaria, on the way to Bulgaria? If it's Ajahn Brahmali, it will be a different answer. Oh, actually, it wasn't who was with me in the pilgrimage with Ajahn Brahmali? Let me see. Is there anyone in the hall? Not even you. I had 2 nuns with me, Veranchanda and Upeka. And Ajahn Brahmali, there were a lot of children always begging. And then he opened his bag and he took out a bunch of lollies. Lots of lollies, all in his bag. So if it's Ajahn Brahmali, it would be lollies. But not this one. Okay, so what's your answer? Okay, a hug? 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 Wow! Impressive. Okay, next question. Okay. Actually, I shouldn't have given the multiple choice for this. What endearing title was Ajahn Brahm given by his disciples in Indonesia? Is it His Roundness, Ajahn Donut, Biggest Loser, Ajahn Loser? If you attend his 9 days retreat, he often talk about this. And I think he mentioned this recently. On Friday night, he mentioned the answers to quite a number of questions. And I was like, was he reading my mind? Okay, are you ready? All right, that group over there? Ajahn Donut? Yep. Yeah? Okay. Wow. Okay, very good. All right, next one. Okay. This is often quoted by Ajahn Brahm in his talks. There are 3 rings in a marriage. First is the engagement ring, followed by the wedding ring. What is the 3rd ring? I think you'll remember his jokes very well. You're passed with flying colors. But you haven't reached the next round yet. That's going to be the elimination round. Okay, I think everybody got it. What is the answer? Yeah, suffering. I told this joke on my daughter's wedding. I don't think she appreciated it. But her friends did. Anyway. Okay, so next one. Oh, sorry. What is her addition? The what? What is the 4th ring? Enduring. That's a good one, okay. When Ajahn Hasapanya celebrates her 50th anniversary, we'll have that question. Okay, Ajahn Brahm just told this joke and I was like, oh. Ajahn Brahm often tells the carrot joke in his Dhamma talks. What did the doctor tell the other carrot about the condition of the carrot who was seriously injured? Doctor said, the good news is the carrot survived. The bad news is the carrot has become you need to get this very accurate. Very accurate. So I'm looking for at least 2 words, 3 words. 5 words, possibly. At least 3 words. At least 3 words. Because I thought of 1 word, then Ajahn Brahm corrected me. It has 2 more words. It can be 5 words, I think. Okay. All right. Okay, this group. Okay, that's good. You're not supposed to be looking at the book. And that's why I didn't hand out the book earlier. Okay, no more, because just now I didn't state the rules. Okay? No more? Yes, all right. Everybody got that? What's your group's answer? Eddie? No. So it has to be for life. Because I said vegetable, Ajahn Brahm said vegetable for life. Okay? So if you have vegetable, you don't get a point. You need to either say vegetable for the rest of the life, vegetable for life. Yep. Okay, next one. I'm not sure if everyone knows this. Jhana Grove is a meditation retreat center. Ajahn Brahm regularly teaches 9-day retreat there. What witty name did he have for Jhana Grove that he fondly refers to? We call jhana growth, but he calls it by another name. It's 2 words. Hey, I told you not to speak so loudly. I know you are very sharing and caring. But I think everybody got the answer. For those who don't know, they heard the answer too. All right. Okay, what's the answer? Club mat. Everybody got that? Okay, all right. Next one. He talked about this one too. When Ajahn Brahm was sick and lying in a hospital in Thailand, he was pleasantly surprised when Ajahn Chah came to visit him. What did Ajahn Chah say that shocked Ajahn Brahm? You need to be very accurate in your answer as well. $126. Oh. All right. Okay, what's the answer? Lucky? Thank you. Okay, Ajahn Brahm often tells a story from his younger days as a monk. This is about pushing the wheelbarrow. What was the moral behind the story? Thinking about it is the hard part. What follows? Thinking about it is the hard part. Okay? All right? All right, Bill, what did your group say? Doing it is easy. Yep. Everybody got that? Okay. No, just doing it doesn't work. They will hate me for it. Those are my friends over there. Okay, next one. This one, he said it so many times. My heart ached every time he repeated this. I was like, Ajahn, please. I think he read my mind on Friday night. There were so many answers he gave. And I told Aurora about it. So, he attended the school, and what famous actor also attended the school a couple of years ahead? Is it Maggie Smith, Alan Rickman, Billy Connolly, or Ian McKellen? I don't know why. He mentioned so many times. He mentioned on Friday. He mentioned today as well. All right. I think everybody got the right answer. Eddie, tell me what's the answer. I'm going to give you guys another chance. Just because Eddie always asks questions, you have to give me the right answer, Eddie. Did you all want to disown him? Okay, everybody got the right answer? Alan Rickman. Yeah? Okay, all right. Next one. This one, I'm not sure if people know the answer, Aurora. While at what Pananachat, Ajahn Brahm uniquely assisted the monks by doing what? Creating a more efficient way to mix concrete to build kutis? Or B, English translation services? Or C, using methane from human waste to boil kettles of water? Or D, making them all a good strong English cup of tea each day? I wouldn't have got this one right. If the answer that I give you is wrong, you have to blame Aurora for it, because I have no idea about this one. I don't think he talked about this during his talks, did he? Okay, this might need a little bit of discussion. 1:30. Excuse me, I said multiple choice, and it has to be one of the choices. And you call me you call yourself my friend? Gotta be smarter than that. Okay? Okay, what's your answer? A? What's your answer? C? D? What's your answer? C? D? Wow, this is interesting. The answer is C. I have no idea about this one. Okay. All right, so we have finished this round. Can you move to the next slide, Chia? Yes. So for now, can you just count how many points you have just for this round so we have an idea? Whoa. So can you just count what's the 19? 19, okay. Yeah, sure. So the full is 19? Okay. The nuns got 19? 18, okay. Good enough. Huh? 13? I'm shocked. Are you the assistant treasurer, Pei? And Dennis? Dennis, that's very disappointing. After all these years, Dennis. And Pram. What about the group over there? 19. Eddie's group? 13. Hey. You two, how? 13, yeah. What about Manel's group? 15? That's not good. Okay, so the top 3, so it's 1. Who's the other one? David's team. And then, who was the other? 17. 17, yeah. Okay, so these are the, so look out for these 3 teams. You have to beat them. Okay, this one is interesting. I'm going to show you a screenshot of a Friday night talk. And I will ask questions based on that talk. You may not remember what happened during that talk. And sometimes it's about the picture itself. I might ask, what is behind Ajahn Brahm or something, you know? So when I show that, you have to look at the picture carefully. Who's in the picture and things like that, yeah? Okay, let's show the first one. The title of this talk is Control and Freedom. Please have a good look. All right. So there are 2 questions. So each question you'll get 1 point if it's correct. The first one is, how old do you think Ajahn Brahm is? How old was Ajahn Brahm in this talk? I will, it has to be exact. No. I will accept the closest answer. How old was Ajahn Brahm in this talk? You can tell it's his early days. How old was Ajahn Brahm in this talk? In case if you cannot count, you can use calculator. So there are 2 questions. That is the first question. Okay, we need to move faster. Oh my. We still have quite a number of questions. Okay, the second question to this talk, Ajahn Brahm quoted a Middle East curse. Okay, please listen to the next question from the same talk. Ajahn Brahm quoted in this talk a Middle East curse. May the fleas of 1,000 camels infest your what? It's quite funny. I thought I heard a right answer. May the fleas of 1,000 camels infest your what? Okay. Okay, I think everyone got this one correct. Okay, so first one. How old was Ajahn Brahm in this talk? What was the answer? Which year? Seven? 58? So it was 2007. That makes it 56 years old. So only this group has the right answer. So the rest would be 0. Okay, and then the next one, the quote, may the fleas of 1,000 camels infest your armpits. Okay, very good. That's correct. Okay, next one. All right. So this is a talk called Recollecting Past Lives. That's on 19 April 2024, so that's quite recent. All right. The first question, there are 2 questions. How many questions did Eddie Koo ask at the end of the talk? In case anyone of you don't know, Eddie Koo is our BSWA YouTube sensation. When Ajahn Brahm travels, people would ask for him. When people from overseas come and visit Dhammaloka, they will look for Ajahn Brahm because they want to meet him. After they've met Ajahn Brahm, they will ask, which one is Eddie? Or they might just wait until the end, and then when Eddie asks a question, they're, oh, he's the one. Okay. How many questions? And just so that you know, in order for me to come up with these questions and answers, I have to watch the whole talk. How many questions did Eddie Koo ask at the end of the talk? Eddie, what do you think? 2 or 3, okay? Who else? 0? How can it be 0? Why is it that it's 0?
He gives us the benefit of his homespun Dharma, but he doesn't ask questions.
So, the right answer is 0 because he made a comment. There was no question. You like this question? All right. I need to have some questions that will knock some people off, some groups off. All right. Another one. I'm not sure if any one of you get this correct. Ajahn Brahm did something unusual at the end of the talk. Before paying respects to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, what did he do? Oh, don't show the next one. Ajahn Brahm did something unusual at the end of the talk. It was during the Q&A, someone asked, Ajahn, can you do this? And Ajahn said, oh, I'll do it at the end. So he did something unique or something unusual. He doesn't do it all the time. At the end of the talk, before paying respects to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, what did he do? Okay? This is either you know it or you don't know it. Okay, so what's the answer? This group seems to be like, is my answer somewhere that you can see? What's your answer? Blessing? Okay, that's quite close. You obviously saw the slide. What about that group? Okay, so I would accept blessing or sharing of merits or dedication of merits. Okay, next slide, Jia. I will show you. So this is what he chanted. It's a dedication of merits. Idam me naniam hotu sukhi ta hotu nyatayo. Yep. So he doesn't usually do this, but he did it for this talk. Okay, next talk. This is the talk called Learn Not to Blame Yourself. Okay, so a hint, please look at this picture carefully, because I'm going to remove this picture and then I'll ask the question. There are 3 questions that I will ask for this. Like I say, you have to see who's in the picture, what he's doing. Eddie Koo is the person behind all our beautiful decorations here. So there was a beautiful decoration in that talk too. Okay, Jia, you can move to the next one so they can't see this picture anymore. Okay, stay that way. First question. What is the name of Ajahn Brahm's attendant monk sitting next to him during the talk? Okay, that's the first question. Write down your answer. I'll move to the next question because we are running out of time. Next question. There was a sign, Happy Visa, behind the monks. What letter of the sign was blocked by Venerable Radha? Aha! You like that? At least my late nights paid off. There was a sign, Happy Visa, behind the monks. What letter of the sign was blocked by Venerable Radha? Lucky you guys are not wearing shoes, otherwise you'll start throwing shoes at me. Okay, the last question for this one is, what did Ajahn Brahm put on his head? He put something on his head. He was trying to demonstrate something. Okay? All right, got your answers? All right. Okay. Got it? Okay, I'm going to reveal the answer. First one, attendant monk. Who's the attendant monk? Radha? All right, that's correct. So what letter was blocked by Venerable Radha? H. Everyone got it? What? Wow, very good, yes. What did Ajahn Brahm put on his head? Any answers? What? Sorry? The what? Gong. Nope. What about that group? Just shout out your answer. Huh? Very good. Anyone else got that? So in that talk, he was talking about how as a young monk, he would like doze off, and then he told Venerable Radha to get the box of matches. Then he put on the head. And then he was like, and then they will, because it's there, so they wouldn't kind of like not off because the matchstick would fall. But then the talk was quite funny, and then he said, but he got so used to it that he was doing this, He was like sleeping, but he was doing this so the matchstick doesn't drop. Okay, so very good. At least some of the groups got the answers right. Okay, next one, yeah? See? So there's 3, yeah? The H and Venerable Radha and the matchstick. Even though it wasn't very clear, but anyway. All right, next one? Yes, so this is the next talk. Again, I'm going to move and you will not be able to see this. So look carefully. There will be 2 questions. I'm very sure you won't get one of these answers correct. I'll be very surprised if you do. Okay. Jia, move to a blank screen. Aha! All right. What is the name of Ajahn Brahm's attendant monk sitting next to him during the talk? I need you to get even the spelling correct. No tolerance for wrong spelling. All right? So that's the first question. Second question is, how old is this person? How old is this attendant monk? No, yes, now. How old is he now? So the first question is, who is this attendant monk and how old is he? It's either you know or you don't know. For leniency, I will accept the closest to the actual age as the correct answer. All right, okay. So the first question, so what's the name of the monk? Vosaga? Vosaga, good. How do you spell Vosaga? V-O, one S or two S? Two S, A-G-G-A. Got it? Wrong spelling, 0 points. Okay, next one, how old is he? How old? 28, that's the correct answer. What age? 24? No? He's only 28. I think he's the youngest monk. I don't think there's anyone younger than him. Yep. Yep. Okay, all right, next one. No, because they've got the 28. Sorry, Jeff. Nice try. All right, next one. This talk is called, Jia, I think you went one slide ahead. Yep, thank you. Terminal lucidity. Okay, these are quite serious questions. The first question, when one dies, what gets carried over to the next life? What gets carried over to the next life? There are two questions. This is the first question. People often ask, oh, when I die, what gets carried over? I only accept a Buddhist answer. Okay, next question. Ajahn Brahm, during this talk, mentioned about his father telling him that the door of his heart is always open to you. Where did that phrase come from? Who said that to his father previously? Okay, I repeat. Ajahn Brahm, during the talk, mentioned about his father telling him that the door of his heart is always open to you. Where did that phrase come from? So the father didn't come out. Ajahn Brahm the whole time thought that the father actually came up with the phrase, but it didn't come from the father. So where did that phrase come from? Who said that to his father previously? You just need to tell me who said that to his father previously. And because of this person who said it to the father, so later on that his father actually repeated the phrase to Ajahn Brahm. And it was only when, I think years later, that he discovered that it didn't come from the father originally. Okay, so you just need to tell me who said that to the father. Okay, so
Any. Yeah, I don't want the video.
all right. Okay. So what is the first answer? What gets carried over to the next life? Stream of consciousness. Everybody got that right? And then the next one. So who told the father? Where did that phrase come from? Anyone knows? Huh? His aunt. Yeah? Okay. All right. I'm going to move quite quickly. Otherwise, we don't have time for the last part. Jia, next slide. This might be the last one. And then I'll skip the rest. 4 ways of letting go. This is a talk in 2010. And this is the most popular Ajahn Brahm's talk on YouTube ever. What is the total number of views? Of views. So remember, I said it's the most popular one. Jia, can you move to the next round? I'll skip the rest. The one that says Ajahn Brahm and Bodhiyana. Move the slide to the... Okay, write your answer. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay, no, then before this one. Another one. Or maybe I have to go through them then. Move again. Move again. Before. So 7. Bring up children. Yeah, okay. So how many views? The answer is 2.5 million. What's the closest? 1.2? You got it exact? Okay, so they got 1 point. All right, next one. Okay, very quickly. This is about bringing up children. Ajahn Brahm mentioned that parents should develop 2 qualities in their children's lives. Which 2? He repeated this either, I think, on Friday. He mentioned that parents should develop 2 qualities in the children's lives. Because there was one parent that asked Ajahn Brahm, said, oh, how do I raise my kids as a Buddhist? And so he said, this too. Okay, we need to move quickly. All right. Can you please finish up? David is like smiling, you know. All right, David, what's your answer?
Asking questions and honesty.
Very good. Got it. That's correct. Okay. Yeah, 2 points. So 1 point for each correct answer. Okay, next one, Jia. How to make difficult decisions. At the end of every Dhamma talk, Ajahn Brahm will pay respects to the Buddha by bowing down 3 times. Which 3 qualities of the Buddha is he bowing to? He also mentioned this a few times. You will get a point for every correct answer. So there's 3 points here. All right, so this should be quite simple. Oh, I think he did it. Was it this morning? And he pointed to, where's Nicholas? And Nicholas was like, gave him a blank face. All right, what's the answer? Wait. Everybody done? Yeah? Okay, what's the answer? What's the first one? Virtues. Second one? Peace. Yeah, kindness or compassion. Yeah? Okay, very good. Last question. Yes, 3 points. Okay, this is a very good one. I think so. So I showed 8 screenshots. So in the 8 screenshots taken from Ajahn Brahm's Friday night talks, how many times was his outer robe seen slipping off his shoulders? I'm quite proud of myself for coming out with this question. Except I think I told Ajahn Brahm about it. He wasn't too impressed. Okay, so how many? I don't think anyone actually saw. You saw? Okay, how many? Right, okay. So what's the answer? 8. That's very mean. What's yours? 8? You guys are so mean. 1, that's very close. 8. 8. Okay, Jia, show the next. So I have proof. It was only 2. I was quite kind. It would have been 8 because my husband got me 8. I told him to just find, those screenshots. And I felt so bad. No, I can't do this to my teacher. So, you got 1? Anyone got a low number as well? No? So you got 1 point. That's quite close. Okay, next round. Next round is called Ajahn Brahm and Bodhiyana. Okay, so move to the next slide, Chia. First question. Over the past 30 years, how many monks has Ajahn Brahm ordained? You would never get this right. I'll be surprised if you even come close. So for this segment, Ajahn Brahm, if the answer is you think that I've given you is wrong, blame it on Ajahn Brahmali because he gave me all the answers. I gave him the questions and asked him to find the answers. How many monks? Monks only. So past 30 years. Are you joining the quiz? Then you can't shout out the answer like that. No, they're supposed to write down. You can join the nuns here. Ajahn Chanda, you can join the nuns here. Okay, all right, we need to move quickly. Oh, Aurora, I think, yeah, we won't have time. Sorry about that. Okay, I'll just go through this quickly. Okay, what's the answer? I need one answer, not so many answers from this group. You decide. How many? What's the answer? See, Venerachana, what did you do? Okay, the correct answer is 93. If you don't get this right, you don't get a point. Not even close. Okay, next one. Nope. Because she shouted out the answer. How many Zoom teachings did Ajahn Brahm conduct in 2024? So these are not for BSWA. Usually you do Zoom, for example, for Anukampa, for I don't know what other groups. So he does for BSV, for Buddhist Fellowship. So how many Zoom teachings did Ajahn Brahm conduct in 2024? Okay, I would accept the closest answer. Okay, shout out your answer. What's yours? 20? No, that's very... 33? What else? 35? No, it has to be higher. What's your answer? Huh? What's the answer? The answer is 100. Okay, who is the closest? Who has the biggest number? 35? Did I hear someone say 35? Yeah, so you get 1 point. Okay, next one. In which year did Ajahn Brahm undertake his 6-month self-retreat? Sorry. In which year did he do a 6-month self-retreat? Okay? What's the answer? 2000? Nope. 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 Very close. Nope. 2003. Ajahn Brahmali says 2003. Okay, so who said 2002? Okay, so you get 1 point. Ajahn Brahmali says 2003. Anyway. Okay, next one. In what year did Ajahn Brahm take on the role of abbot at Bodhiana Monastery? Okay, all right. What's the answer? What's the answer? 94? 94? 95? 94? 95. The correct answer is 95. Okay, next question. This one, if you get it correct, it will be 14 points. There are 14 items. List all the items currently found in Ajahn Brahm's cave. Can you imagine Ajahn Brahmali as he's trying to find me the answers? He would have gone through every single item. Name every single item in his cave. For every correct answer, you get 1 point. Oh, Ajahn Brahm is here. I don't think he even knows the answer. Ajahn Brahm, please come and take a seat. I should ask Ajahn. Ajahn, please take a seat and then we'll ask you. Huh? Because I got the answer from Ajahn Brahmali. Not that I don't believe you, but I'm just depending on his answers. Yeah. It wasn't from Ajahn Brahm, it's from Ajahn Brahmali.
So in my cave right now, there are...
Wait, Ajahn, don't say first. Ajahn, you're giving the answers away. Okay, we're running out of time, so this will be the last question. All right. So I need you all to shout out the answer. What did you all have? Just name anything. Wait, which one? What do you have? Heater? Okay, it says a small fan heater. So if you've got heater, you get 1 point. What else?
No.
What? Bed? 2 toy beds. If you get bed, okay, you get 1 point.
No, you
what
get
else?
half a point. There's 2.
Huh?
There's 2.
Says toy beds, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
bed, that's outside.
What else? Not specific enough. What light? Torchlight, yes, that's 1 point. What else? No, you've got... No, that's it. Okay, what else?
3 bats.
Buddha statue, yes. What else? Mattress, yes. What else? Chamari? I can't hear you. Can you repeat what she just said?
Light bulb, yeah.
There's no light bulb.
There is 2 light bulbs.
No? There's no light bulb. Is there a light bulb?
Yeah, 2.
2? Okay, all right, sorry. Ajahn Brahmali, wrong answer.
It's like,
You didn't count the top.
and also rocks, also lots of rocks in there. Yeah.
Oh, rocks. Oh, wow. Okay. So light bulb. Okay, what else? Meditation cushion, yes. What else? Clock, yes. Are you all counting? Did you all look at your answers? All right. What else?
Water bottle, yep.
Do you have a water bottle?
Yeah.
Okay, water bottle. Container with water, I think. I think my answer is truncated. Okay, what else? Blankets, yes. Pillow, yes. We assume that he's putting on his robe, I think. Sorry? 17 items. Yeah, because we didn't have the light bulb. And okay, there is a few items. Did anyone say humidifier? Okay, that's another point. Beanie. So beanie is there.
No.
So you got alarm clock. Metal cup
no
with
beanie.
lid. So that's the water bottle or whatever.
Beanie.
And then tissue box.
Oh,
Okay?
that was socks.
Was it socks, was it?
Yeah.
All right.
That's not in my cave. That's in my dreams.
Okay. All right. Actually, maybe I should ask Ajahn Brahm this question. Can you scroll back to that talk? And I'll ask Ajahn Brahm to guess this answer. The talk that says recollecting past lives.
Yes.
Now, Ajahn, look at the screen.
Yeah, look at the screen here.
Okay, so. This one. So my question is, Ajahn, get
Yeah.
ready. How many questions did Bhikkhu ask at the end of the talk? You will get a prize signed by Ajahn Brahm if you get this answer right. How many questions did Bhikkhu ask at the end of the talk?
Not enough.
The answer is 0. He didn't ask a question, he made a comment.
I said that was
Okay,
not
all
enough.
right. Let's go to the Zoom session.
Okay.
Can you move to the... Oh, in fact, I think we need to show the Zoom. Yeah? Sorry, Aurora, we don't... Oh, we are... Okay, can you all add up your points and see... we would only have prize for the top group, the highest point. I'm not like Ajahn Brahm. Ajahn Brahm always go with the middle way, then he gives to the middle group, but I'm giving it to the top winner. I'm the conventional person.
My what? Personal retreat. Okay. No, it was.
Aurora? Did you have the prize? Or is
it was.
Yeah. Maybe,
It was in 2025.
maybe just pass it to
6 months
Ajahn
retreat.
Brahm and then he can hand it to them. Yeah.
Anyway, they were discussing about the 6-month retreat, the year of it. It's 2025.
6 months retreat. Ajahn, this is recorded on live streaming.
Wishful thinking.
Ajahn, I'm asking you, can you confirm your answer?
Of course not.
It's okay. We have moved on.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So can I get the score, the total score? 40? 30? Manel's group? Who else is ready, the score? David, what's your group? 40?
Is it 41 over there? Can I grant bonus points? No. I can't add up.
Okay. So you got 40? Anyone higher than 40? Was there another group also 40? Can you all be exact, not estimate? You didn't count? You want to count? No? Okay, all right.
Because they were uncountable. Uncountable is by
Okay, who
far
else? Anyone higher than 40? Okay, all right. Then it's... David, what did you say your group? 40? So we got 2 groups of 40. It's okay, we can give it to them later. So how many do you have right now, Aurora? Okay. I don't know how many books there are. So maybe this group come forward first, and then just get the... Ajahn can present to you
What did he sign?
The Happy Everyday book. Happy Everyday?
Who signed it?
Who signed it? Aurora? Where's Aurora? Ajahn asked, who signed it? Oh yeah, look. Ajahn, it's all stamped.
Okay.
It's all stamped. Yeah. Okay,
What
all
do
right.
you want?
So,
What is it done?
yeah, okay. So just get a book from Ajahn Brahm. Jia, can you show the Zoom?
No, it's signed.
Yeah, so just show the,
Good enough.
can we show that them, the people who are on the Zoom? No, but I want to see the people who, yes, so that otherwise I cannot ask the question.
That's it, isn't it? 7, the Magnificent 7. Okay, the next people. Who got the lowest score? You are the most humble. No, okay.
All right. That group too, except we may not have enough. Can you just come forward? For those who don't have a book, we'll give it to you later. We've got that in the office. Thank you for participating in the quiz. And hope you enjoyed those silly questions.
Who did all the questions?
Huh?
Who formulated all the questions?
Aurora did some questions, I did some questions. Ajahn Brahmali didn't have anything to do with the questions, but he provided the answers.
I was just wondering. I mean, Aurora was your partner.
There's a conflict of interest.
That is like, what's it called? Conflict of interest?
Conflict of interest. I didn't ask them to declare though. I should have.
Okay.
Okay, go for it.
Here we go.
Jia Liao,
Yeah, tell us.
can I see who has joined the Zoom session? Can you go to the...
Yeah, good.
Then I know whether all of them has joined. Do they have their video turned on? Do they not have their video turned on? Can we turn on their video? Because I need to see their face.
Only got one left.
Can we ask, maybe they've turned off their
Here
video.
we go. Well done.
Okay, so while... Given out everything? All right, so
What's next?
the next one, we have actually invited the Bhikkhunis for this session. So it's going to be a panel discussion.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
So the title of this segment is called Nuns in the Making, or Bhikkhunis in the Making, Stories of Growth and Greed. Gaia, can you? Okay, so we have Ajahn Chanda representing Anukampa. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
So at least we have you joining live in person. And then representing Dhammasara is Venerable Vimutti. And just so that you all know who are actually here, maybe I'll just introduce. Sorry, it's a bit late in the day when I'm doing this introduction. So I'll start with the nuns. Venerable Nadi. I'm like testing my memory because I know their lay name. Venerable Pamochana. Venerable Vimala. Venerable Vimutti. Ajahn Chanda. Ajahn Brahm. Lucky I didn't get that wrong. Ajahn Brahmali and then Venerable Siti Bhutto. Okay. All right, so we've got the Santi nuns. Hello, are you all on the screen? Very good. And what about the Newbury? I can't see who has joined. Oh, for, okay, Newbury. So Newbury, I think, Ayah Upeka, where is she? That's her. Ayah Upeka and Ayah Santa, that's the two of them. And I think Ayah Upeka also extended the invitation to her two other nuns, Ayah Sankapa and Ayah Sunyata, and they are in Singapore. They are together with the Buddhist Fellowship Group. Okay? And we also have Ajahn Munisara. So she managed to get Wi-Fi. So she'll be joining this. So we can kind of like switch the questions, yeah? Okay, all right, thank you. Am I missing anyone else? Okay, I've got everyone. So thank you everyone for joining this segment. So I've got a series of questions. I already sent it to the nuns. But what I'll do is that I will just pick a few questions to ask because I don't think we would have time to cover all the questions. And I will kind of like, call upon each of the monastery to answer that question. So I will go by alphabetical order, Anukampa, then Dhammasara, Newbury, Santi. And then next question, Dhammasara will answer first, yeah? Okay, ready? It's not too bad. Ajahn Chanda, I'm going to start with, so okay, my first question. And I'll have Anukampa to answer that first. Okay, so the first question is, how has Ajahn Brahm's support influenced your journey as a bhikkhuni?
Radically.
I'm a radical.
Yeah, of course you are. That's one of your main qualities, Ajahn. So it's a long story if I tell the whole story, but I was already ordained in Myanmar in 2006, and I came across Ajahn Brahm's teachings just on a little cassette that I was having in my little forest kuti. And when I heard the teachings, there was so much power to them. I could sense that they were coming from a depth of experience. And at that time, I was meditating a lot and being very aware throughout the day, but something was lacking in the practice. And I think just the emphasis on kindness and also the depth of the teachings really triggered something in me. And I had this sense that this was coming from a very deep place. So after a few years, in fact, a few months, I think, I left Myanmar and I went in search of this person, Ajahn Brahm, who I knew nothing about. And it was actually when I heard that you'd ordained bhikkhunis that I thought, oh, maybe this is something important. Because until then, I hadn't really thought about it. I was very happy and content living a nun's life in Myanmar. And I had all the conditions to do so. But when I heard that this person, who's obviously got very deep experience, has ordained bhikkhunis, I got interested. And so I left Myanmar and went to Germany, where I sat on a retreat with Ajahn Brahm, which you may or may not remember. But again, there was that combination of really profound teachings and the humor as well. And although I'd heard a lot of deep Dhamma in Myanmar and in India for decades, something about your conviction when you spoke about cessation, when you spoke about deep jhanas, really literally shook me. And it seemed to me that a deeper process was set in place. So I went over to Australia, and a couple of years later, it wasn't quite that simple. I actually had nowhere to live for 2 years. But eventually I got over here and joined the Dhammasara Nuns community for about 3 years before Ajahn Brahm asked me to start a monastery in England. And I have to say, you were the only person who could get me to go back to England because I left that place sort of 20 years earlier and had lived in Asia most of my life. And I think the depth of faith that I had, in a true Kalyanamitta who, I knew over time and had observed really closely, not only in their practice, but in your conduct as well. It gave me the confidence to take this leap and accept the invitation to start a monastery in England. So, in a sense, it was something I would have never done. I wasn't interested in leading or teaching, and certainly not ever having a microphone in front of me and people in front of me. That was terrifying to me. But it was an opportunity to express my gratitude for everything I'd received from my teacher, from Ajahn Brahm. And I knew that you'd be there to support me. And I think, the kind of support I received was always encouraging, but never undermining in any way. There was a sense that I was allowed to make mistakes. I was allowed to kind of figure things out for myself. I was given the space to do that. But I knew that if anything went wrong or I needed advice, Ajahn Brahm would always be there. And you were there for the last 9 years throughout this journey of establishing a monastery from nothing. We weren't invited by an established trust. There wasn't a community who were particularly eager to have bhikkhunis because they already have the dual Sangha, but they have monks and Siladhara, not bhikkhunis in England. And the Siladhara are essentially novice nuns, but they take about 150 precepts which are based on the full ordination. And because of that, they live a life that's so close to the bhikkhuni lifestyle, and yet they don't have the actual ordination endorsed by the Buddha. So this means that they're not recognized as true members of the Sangha, and they are confined to the monasteries that ordain them. Their ordination is not recognized outside those places. And it also means that they can't ordain their own nuns, so they don't have autonomy around creating a community for themselves. Whereas bhikkhunis have that. We can not only have the full ordination, which is in a sense our inheritance from the Buddha, but we also, when we reach a certain level of reigns, when we've been in the robes for about 12 years, we can ordain other bhikkhunis. So we can create our own monasteries and communities in a way that I guess a woman's wisdom can really come through and can shine. So because it's different, it is different. And so the influence has been vast, and I guess one big factor in the last 9 years has just been enabling me to have much more confidence to be able to share the Dhamma, not only out of gratitude, for what I've received, but also as a way to pay it forward. Ajahn was saying, that the best thing we can do is to practice deeply, but also to share what we know, what we understand. And it has completely transformed my life. And even feeling very marginalized in England has had its gifts, because I understand much more deeply the suffering of marginalization, and that engenders a sense of compassion that I want to make sure I don't replicate those systems of discrimination, and I want to create a community that's very inclusive. And I think we've succeeded in that, and this is largely due to your ethics and constant support and leadership. And compassion as well. So, it's the biggest blessing in my life to meet such a Kalyanamitta. And I was kind of touched this morning when you said that Ajahn Chah, in a sense, had more influence on you than the Buddha, because I feel that way too. It's an example of the living Dhamma. And of course, without the Buddha, none of us would be here. As bhikkhunis, our immediate predecessors are the Arahat bhikkhunis of the Buddha's day, right? And the bhikkhuni Sangha that's starting now. But to have a representative in the human form that's accessible. Because the other thing I remember is when I first met you, I'm kind of trembling in awe, because I knew that I was meeting, the real deal. And I was kind of overcome with saddha, with devotion. But Ajahn Brahm quickly kind of got me out of that by joking around with me and putting me on the spot and kind of making me blush, but in ways that were sweet. Like in ways that were not, to kind of make me feel humiliated, but just to lighten me up in a way. And that meant that I could ask questions. And I think that's, part of the reason for the bad jokes or the dad jokes or the bad dad jokes is so that we have the confidence to ask whatever we want to ask, even if it seems stupid or we think it's stupid. You've always told us there's no such thing as a bad question or a stupid question. And I feel I can go to you with absolutely anything. And that does engender a sense of deep trust and honesty and mutual respect. One last thing is that I've been really touched when I've come to you, kind of not knowing really which step to take next, in states of despair and doubt and not knowing if I can continue because there's no support or whatever. And you've looked at me and said, you have my trust and respect. And that is just so touching, to be told that even in your kind of lowest state of mind, somebody you respect so highly respects and trusts you, and you think, you're respecting these khandhas in this state? And that is kind of testament to you seeing the potential in every human being for awakening. And it's deeply touching, deeply touching and healing too. So thank you, Ajahn, for showing us we can all follow this path, and we have a good chance with a Kalyanamitta like you to keep going all the way to the end. So, yeah.
Thank you. Can I invite she's got
Is it on? The Ajahn mic. That's on?
The question is, how has Ajahn Brahm's support influenced your journey as a bhikkhuni or as a nun bhikkhuni?
Does it mean leading up to, or does it mean, or both, or whatever? Okay. Gosh, in every possible way. Well, just the fact that this place is here, just the fact that you're all here, and that there were people that wanted to set up a place for me at Dana time. Just the fact that Dhammasara exists, that Ajahn Hasapanya was able to be my Pavatini in January, that I have robes that my parents wore at my ordination, everything, every aspect of my life. The Dhamma, that how I see the Dhamma, how I see practice. Even now, just sitting here, suddenly feeling deeply anxious, suddenly realizing that I wanted to get it right. And remembering Ajahn Brahm saying how he once had waves and waves of fear coming over him just before giving a talk. And he suddenly decided he was going to have fun. And I thought, well, that's not really working for me, but something else that he said did come up. I thought, I can do that. I can do that. I can just be present and accept how I feel. And it's okay. So even just little things every day, how I see people, how I walk from here to there, it just touched every corner of my life. And I would need a book to write down all the ways.
Thank you. 3 sadhus for Venerable Vimuthi. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you. Can I turn over to Newbury? Ayah Upeka, would you want to answer the question, or can you say something? We cannot hear you. Ayah Upeka from Newbury. We've got 2 Upeka. Yes.
Come back in a little bit. Maybe we can pass it to the other ayahs in Singapore right now.
Okay, you want to invite the Singapore ayah. So, Ayah Sangapa or Ayah Sunyata? Where are you? Are you with Buddhist Fellowship? Okay. Would one of you want to answer the question? The question is, how has Ajahn Brahm's support influenced your journey as a nun? Are they still there? Yeah.
Okay, this is Ayah Sunyata. How has Ajahn Brahm's support influenced my journey as a nun? I think he has made it very easy. I think basically my personal opinion is that I got handed it on a silver platter. And why do I say so? It's because I've heard of the struggles of the nuns in the past, like 20 years ago. They had to fight for ordination. They had to do so many things. It's not just a matter of overcoming their self-doubt, whether their family supports them or not, and things like that. They actually had to find a place to be able to be ordained, find a teacher, and all that. Whereas for me, 20 years later, everything is there. All the infrastructure, the support, the recognition, everything is there. I never had to work as hard for it as all those in the past. And most of it is due to Ajahn Brahm. He made that sacrifice. He set up the infrastructure for it, and I'm very grateful to him for that. Yeah.
Thank you,
not
Ayah
just because of
Sunyata.
that,
Is
like-
Ayah Sangapa saying something? Are we?
Yes, this is Ayya Sang. So I just add to what Ayya Sunyata say. I just because of Ajahn Brahm, we have a place to practice. We can get ordained, and because we have all the guidance from Ajahn Brahm, so we can train and practice under his guidance. And anytime that he come to Newbury, because we don't have a chance to close to him all the time. So every year when he come to us, especially at the COVID time, we have a lot of about 10 days with him. And we can observe him, see him as an example for us. And how we can see that he works very selflessly, patiently, and that's how it set the example for me to practice, just like an idol to me.
Thank you, Ayah Sangkapa. 3 sadhus to the 2 ayahs. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And thank you, BF, for hosting the 2 nuns so they can join this session. So last but not least, Santi. Who's going to represent Santi for this question? Ayah Karunika? I can't really see.
They can't decide. I think
We can't hear you. I think maybe it's... Are you not close to the mic? Too soft.
They haven't asked the question. Oh, it's a different question.
Yes.
Is it the same question or a different
It's the same question. Please listen. I was very fortunate. I just visited Santi and Newbury, so I got to know the nuns very well. I love the nuns there. The nuns here too. How has Ajahn Brahm's support influenced your journey as a nun?
How has Ajahn Brahm's support influenced my journey? Well, I have to reiterate what everyone has said so far, in that I also walked into ordination. It was, handed to me on a silver platter as well, just like all of us at Dhammasara, well, all of us later ones at Dhammasara, that we did not have to worry about whether we'd be recognized. We didn't have to worry about whether we have a kuti to live in. We just thought, hey, I might be a nun, and I could. So that is pretty extraordinary now that I have not been at Dhammasara, which I was for like 13 years. I have met bhikkhunis around the world in all kinds of situations, and there is no doubt that that the conditions we have in Perth are there. It just doesn't exist. So the opportunity to really live the life of a bhikkhuni to its purest. We get to keep our vinaya as accurate, correctly, as to its highest. We have the best teachings. We have the best forests here in Santi to live in. If it wasn't for Ajahn Brahm's determination to give women the equal opportunity and putting so much of his life into that, I absolutely would not have what I have today. So that's all I have to say.
Wow.
3 sadhu, 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 sadhu. Thank you, Venerable Upeka, or Ajahn Upeka. She's one of the nuns I would call nuns on wheels. So one day she's in Dhammasara, next day she's in Santi, another time she's in Anukampa. So she's like lone a nun kind of thing. All right, so I'm moving to the next question. So we are done with this round. So next question, I will start with Dhammasara first. Maybe I'll invite Ajahn Munisara. So the question is, What practices or teachings have been the most transformative for you on your journey? Can you hear us? Yep.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, good.
Sorry, Leihar, can you say the first part of the question again?
What practices
Just repeat
or
the question again,
teachings have been the most transformative for you on your journey? What practices or teachings?
What practical teachings?
No, what practices?
Practices or teachings?
Practices or teachings.
Gosh, I mean, that's like assuming there's only like one, which it's kind of countless. But I think, you know, I'll just talk about something that just runs into my mind recently, is because I remember years ago, I think on a Jhana Grove retreat or something during an interview, Ajahn Brahm mentioned Michelle Obama's book. Something to the effect of like, you know, like Michelle Obama, she's like the first lady of the US, and you know, everybody thinks she's so confident, she's got all of it figured out. But in her biography, it says that she actually had a lot of self-doubt and a lack of confidence, you know, growing up Black in America, growing up, and also being the only female in like big law firms and contexts where usually women are in the minority. And so I just had that tucked into the back of my mind. And this just now in Thailand, I was visiting my sister's place, and lo and behold, she had Michelle Obama's book. This is like years after Ajahn Brahm made this comment, but I thought, well, let me read this book. And so I didn't get through it all, but especially the early part of it really resonated with me. I mean, I'm not Black, but I'm a woman. And I really resonated with a lot of things that she was talking about, how when you're in a situation where you're the minority and also people don't really accept you, I'm unlike the other nuns who've spoken today. I didn't have it all handed to me on a silver plate exactly. When I started to think about becoming a nun, I was in Thailand, where like everyone, you know, they're just like, why would you want to ordain as a manchi? You know, like, you just want to cook and clean for the monks? Like, why would you want to do that? And then, so I thought, okay, well, let's look at what other options exist. And when I started to think of becoming a bhikkhuni, so many people just discouraged me, and all sorts of people, you know, lay people, lay women, lay men. Actually, lay men are quite good, but lay women, monks, all sorts of people discouraged me. And so, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm answering a little bit the first question, but it kind of relates to this question. So one pivotal moment, I wrote about this in the ebook, but I'll just mention it briefly now. One pivotal moment was when I was talking to him about women's ordination, I think in the guise of like interviewing from an article, but it's like so obvious, I'm thinking about it for myself, right? And he said, you know, many women like you would like to lead a monastic life. And if they were given even half a chance, they would really flourish. I think he used you would really flourish. And in that moment, I just felt so supported. I mean, it was like such a different feeling from all the naysaying or the like somewhat supportive, but, you know, protectively, like, you know, discouraging. And it was just upright support. And I feel like he's worked so hard to give us more than half a chance. He's given us a big chance. And I think we are flourishing fine. And I think we will flourish more. So I think that was really an encouragement. And this is about giving us confidence. It's about, you know, not undermining our confidence at all. This like, oh, you know, I don't know if it's going to be right according to Vinayat. I don't know. Oh, you poor things. You might lead a very difficult life as a nun. It's like, yeah. You know, Ajahn Brahm told me that. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough as ever. But you will be opening the way for so many women to follow. And so that's always hardened me. And it's given me confidence when everybody else is not giving me confidence. But the thing also about Michelle Obama, what she said was, failure is a feeling long before it becomes an actuality. So what she's pointing to is that what really is the insidious source of failure is all those naysaying voices that say, oh, no, you can't, you shouldn't, oh, you know, better wait, better see, or whatever it is that's already telling you, you cannot succeed in this. you are not a man. You are just some lowly woman who was not born with the right gender to be able to be ordained properly. So you will fail, you cannot do this. There are these whispers in the back of your mind, and that becomes an actuality. And even with all of Ajahn Brahm's support, I know these whispers remain in the back of my mind, but they have become much, much more muted and much more easy to disbelieve. And so I think that to have even one person stand in your corner with such unwavering support makes all the difference. But from there, we have to keep working on it. So I think one of the practices that I think Ajahn Brahm has really tried to encourage in us is to believe in ourselves, to have confidence, never to doubt yourself. I mean, he says that, but it's so easy to say, but it's so hard to do when everybody doubts you. But to have that voice of encouragement and feeling like, yeah, he really does think, even though it seems such a weird idea to me, but yeah, he really thinks we can do it. And so I think that is one of the practices I keep coming back to, is just try to build up that confidence and to grow it in other people, especially the younger nuns who are coming in. That's something we all can really work on. So thank you, Ajahn, for that.
3 sadhus. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Ajahn Munisara. Newbury. Who's going to speak? Ayah Upeka? And
because Ajahn Brahm, if you remember last year, he says, I know I've not ordained you, but why don't you do this? And I told Ajahn the reasons why. So Ajah's support and influence has indeed given me a very deep commitment to understand what the essence of the Lord Buddha's teaching is. I'm still trying to explore to see whether I fully understand it. But I think it's better to give Ayah Santa a chance because she adore worships Ajahn.
Well, I just want to make it short and sweet and related to what Ajahn Munisara was saying about Michelle Obama with this. This is what I got from Hong Kong. Doing is easy. Thinking is the hard part. Ajahn Brahm. So that helps me a lot along the way. Thank you, Ajahn.
thank you. 3 sadhus. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And by the way, the book that you're handed this morning, Ayah Santa is the one behind the book. So thanks, Ayah Santa. Okay, Santi, who's going to speak next? So should I repeat the question? The question is, what practices or teachings have been the most transformative for you on your journey?
Okay, so I can answer this one, speak to this one. So for me, there's been so many teachings, but one of the most helpful ones that I've used pretty much every day is Ajah's teachings on chillax to the max. This has been so very helpful. Even though he used the term more recently, that has been a practice of his for a long time, but more than the words. But in one occasion, I remember after we have completed the Dhammasara building project, our first Bhikkhuni ordination. So for the dual ordination, Ajahn came and many monks and nuns were there. And we were all gathered at the dining hall waiting for the time because we were going to go in a procession and enter the meditation hall. So there was a certain time that we were to do it. So we were just waiting there. And Ajahn was drinking a cup of tea. So then it came to time. And then, for whatever reason, I was the one who went forward and sort of told Ajahn, Ajahn, it's time now. Then he looked at me kindly but firmly and said, you do not disturb an Englishman when he is having a cup of tea. And he continued to drink his cup of tea so slowly. And he was watching, gazing out into the bush because there was the glass windows in front of him. And really relaxed, completely chillaxed, didn't matter. all of us were waiting. There was a big ordination to happen. It doesn't really matter. It isn't anything really important whether we were 5-10 minutes late. And it's so important, such an important thing, especially for me, because I'm so always eager to get there, get on time, hurrying everybody up. But this was like, he just sat there and just drank that cup of tea. So I was in a corner just watching from a distance. And that really went inside me. It's so deep. So like since then, I actually do this. Pretty much every day in my kuti, I would sit and drink, whether it's a cup of tea or hot water, anything, and take time just to watch. The other thing is watching the trees grow. So similar kind of thing. So I just sit and chillax, and it's so very helpful. So for my character and for the things, just to really unwind and re-energize, this has been a very powerful teaching. I remember arguing with Ajahn Brahm about where did the Buddha say to relax and chillax. Buddha never said. Buddha said, Chandan janeti vayamati viryagarabati chittam paganhati padhati, like exert energy like anything. You are not telling, where was that teaching? But then it took me years to realize how powerful this is for us in the modern day to first learn to unwind before we actually exert our mind. We are not ready. So that was one occasion, but another really deep one that was helpful for me was I'm also quite famous for always going to ask questions. Zillion questions. Sometimes Ajahn tries to run away from the other door when he sees me coming. Or here comes trouble. So anyway, one of those days, this was during when I was on retreat, and just in Bodhinyana, and I had an interview time to go upstairs in the evening. So I had all these questions, to ask, my opportunity to ask. So I went there, and Ajahn was, slouched on his, big cushion, completely, relaxed, completely chillaxed. But he was so still, like so peaceful. And my whole mind became very peaceful as well. All of my questions just disappeared. Rarely happens, but it was a really powerful moment for me. Like at that time, rather than asking all of those questions, just being in that really quiet time. It was really quiet in the evening. Ajahn may have come out of a good meditation, I don't know, but was really peaceful. So it was much worthwhile just experiencing that peace, and the way he was sitting, the chillaxed kind of feeling. Every time I remember that, it inclines my mind to relax, let go, and become peaceful. So that has probably been the most helpful for me among so many other teachings. Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ajahn Brahm, next time you come to me, or maybe tomorrow, you ask Leha, have you done the insurance for the new property yet? I'm like, chillax. Okay, so Ajahn Chanda?
Okay. Turn it around. Okay. So again, so many teachings, but I think maybe I'll just emphasize a couple. One of the main ones, I think, for me was this shift from putting so much attention on what I was aware of in the meditation, whether it be the breath or the sensations in the body or even the metta practice, right? We can make the person we're giving loving kindness to like the sole focus of our awareness, and taking away the importance from the object and putting it on that place between this so-called observer and the object, and seeing what's in between the two. I think for me this has been a huge change in the practice. And it is the Buddha's teaching on right intention. It's the second factor of the Eightfold Path, that whatever we do from a motivation of kindness, with compassion and with this sense of letting things be. I prefer that than letting go, because letting be is that sense of acceptance. And the gentleness as well. So really trying to infuse the awareness, if you like, with those qualities, I have found makes a massive difference. And I'll just give you one example from years ago, when I was actually struggling with an asthma attack. And this is not advised, okay? So this is not like Anything your doctor would approve of. But I had my inhaler by my side, and I knew that I was having quite a severe asthma attack, and it was hard to get my breath. So I was kind of doing my old practice, observing the feelings, observing the sensations in the body. And it was taking hours and hours. I was thinking, never mind, just be patient, observe the feelings. Finally it's going to abate. But it wasn't getting any better. And at some point I just realized that whenever I would come to the chest, which was obviously the place that felt really constricted and would trigger a sense of fear, I would think I was being aware of it, but there was a resistance there. And it was that resistance that was perpetuating the attack. And as soon as I realized that, and I could just allow those feelings to be and offer them compassion, the whole thing cleared, almost like in an instant. And it was as though like oxygen came throughout my entire body. And the asthma attack completely disappeared. And this is physical, right? This is physical health. But if we do the same thing to our minds, it can have a similar effect. But I think for me, the key has been realizing how much I have in the past negotiated. If I practice metta, then I'll feel better. Or if I practice, breath meditation, then I'll get peaceful. Instead of having those goals, just practicing for the love of it, practicing to develop compassion, practicing it to make peace, not to get peace. It's a very different thing. So we make peace with whatever's there, and then the resulting experience will gradually move towards peace. So I think that for me is really beautiful, because it means that every moment of our practice counts, because there's no moment when we can't be kind or kinder, right? There's so many degrees of kindness and gentleness. And I notice that, I can always be a bit more gentle. I can be very kind, that comes quite naturally to me, but the gentleness, that sense of trying to push things, forward, that is something I can continue to work on. And being around you, Ajahn, I notice that you're gentle all the time with all kinds of beings, even if they're kind of really confrontational, or difficult to handle by most people's standards. Ajahn Brahm is always kind and always incredibly gentle and unobtrusive. Even the way you walk into a monastery, you visited me so many times in England. Some people come in, especially monks, and it's as though, this is one of my monasteries. And they walk in, perfectly innocently, and help themselves to whatever's there. And it's like, okay, it is a bhikkhuni monastery, but okay, be at home, And then over time, they kind of realize, okay, it's quite nice to listen to bhikkhunis as well. But Ajahn Brahm, when you come in, you're like, what do you want me to do? Where should I sit? Please take the lead, No, Ajahn, you have to do the chanting. No, it's a bhikkhuni place. So that sense of gentleness and humility, I suppose, that's something I can really take a lot of inspiration from. And then I guess the other, we're talking now just a couple of things, because otherwise it would take the whole entire session for each of us to say. But one of the other really important things, I think, for my practice has been the emphasis on happiness, and the fact that it's not just okay, but it's actually encouraged to feel happiness, and to feel the kind of happiness that takes us inside and away from the sensual world. And what I really love in the Buddha's teachings is this teaching, I think, which one is it? It's not the Avidya Sutta. I think it's the volition, Chaitana Sutta in the Anguttaras, and Ajahn Brahmali will know, which is where they say that happiness can start with suffering. It can start from suffering. And if you think about it, the suffering is right view, right? It's the Buddha's teaching on the Four Noble Truths. Sorry? Upanisa. Yeah, Upanisa Sutta. So we can actually embrace our suffering, and if we do that with a sense of right view, which means we don't take it personally, we have compassion towards it, we understand that this is the nature of life and it's universal, then a certain confidence can arise in the teachings. And that confidence is already offering us a great deal of happiness and hope. So for me, this has been a game changer, just to realize that there can be a meaning to suffering. And when we hear the Buddha's teachings, he's offering us a way out. And from there, just so much happiness ensues. It starts with just the happiness of daily life, like living a life with more gratitude, with more kindness. And then when you do sit to meditate, more virtue, of course, and when you sit to meditate, it's so much easier to feel the happiness of the mind and just to allow that happiness to kind of take you inside and to start to trust it, to start to rest in it and allow this process to unfold. So I think for me, being given permission to be happy and not to just think that the path is like a ton of work, you know, or that I have to deserve that happiness somehow by being the perfect nun. You know, because that can be a trap in monastic life, like everything else. It's like, okay, now I'm on the path to enlightenment. I have to get it right, you know. I can't make any mistake. I've got to observe the Vinaya 100% perfectly. But perfectly just means being real, you know. You make mistakes. You acknowledge your mistake. You ask forgiveness if it's possible to do that, especially from a great Kalyanamitta or a fellow bhikkhuni. And you forgive yourself, you carry on, you're a human being. So, yeah, and you deserve happiness right now. Can you imagine? So I think these are two really important teachings that I've learned and shifts from my previous practice. Yeah.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so next question. And we will start with Newbury. How do you inspire or support other women considering ordination or the monastic path? So how do you inspire or support other women considering ordination or the monastic path? Ayah Upeka?
Okay, how do I inspire? Hopefully I can just be conducting myself well, knowledgeable in Dhamma Vinaya, listening my meditation, being kind to everyone who comes to me. All these teachings that stems from the qualities of the heart, with selfless service to others, and forgiving. I think all this kind of behavior and conduct actually does sort of impressions on others that after applying the Buddha's teachings into our life, we can become someone Ajahn always described as to be kind, gentle, and also to be always in service for others. So this is how I try my best. I'm not there yet, but Ajahn has really taught me how to open the door of my heart, even for those who may not be kind to me. Yeah, this is how I hope I can.
Ayah, sorry to interrupt. I think we, is that us or is that on her side? Oh, okay. Sorry, Ayah, do you want to try again? Because it's not, can the rest actually hear her? Is that just us? No? Okay. So maybe we're not hearing you very well.
It's okay. I may be too soft because
yes. Okay. Good
I think because of the recent cough that I was having, my throat is still not functioning well. Can I
it's
pass
good now.
it to Ayah Santa? Yeah. No. Did I impress you? Did I did I influence you to become a nun?
Okay, for me to summarize what Ayah was saying, I will use the same bag again. So now this time, make peace, be kind, be gentle, Ajahn Brahm. So that summarizes what Ayah Becca was trying to say. Thank you.
Ayah Santa, do you have a collection of bags? Ayah Upeka, do you run a merchandise shop in Newbury? I didn't see that last time when I was there. Thank you. So, so maybe I'll move on to Santi. So how do you inspire or support other women considering ordination on the monastic path?
Okay, so this is Venerable Prasanna.
Yep.
So I hope as a visibly non-binary monastic and part of Rain Bodhi that I can be here to supply, to kind of inspire and support people of all genders to be able to ordain. And I'm so appreciative of Ajahn Brahm for supporting the LGBTQ community as well, always being outspoken and supporting the queer community. And so just by being visible and keeping going with my practice, I hope that I can support women and people of all other genders as well to practice and have the aspiration to ordain.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Venerable Pasana. So next, can I ask, am I going back to Dhammasara? Vimuti? Thank you. I think you need to turn on the mic. It's not on yet. No? Maybe use this one.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm a baby bhikkhuni, so I need support. So let's get that clear first. But I think what I've learned from what I've seen of how Ajahn Brahm operates and from listening to his teachings for over 30 years, and trying to put them into practice in my life and falling over flat on my face a lot, is to leave people alone, and not think that I have the answers. You know, I know a few people who have the idea of wanting to ordain, or people that come and stay at our monastery for 3 months or a few weeks and have this idea that they want to ordain. And my instinct is to go, do it now. You might die tomorrow, and Ajahn Brahm's probably not going to be around in our next lives, because he's probably either going to be in a jhana realm or nowhere at all. So that's my response. Please ordain. It's really the right thing to do. But, you know, that's not going to work, and everybody's path is different. Everybody's journey is different. And I've learned so many things from Ajahn Brahm, and one of them is just to let things be and let people be. And just be there if they want to come and talk to me. I hope. I'm one of those people that tends to disappear. If there's no reason for me to hang around with my meal afterwards in the afternoon, I won't. But I hope I'm friendly and approachable, and if people want to talk to me, I'm perfectly happy to have a conversation with people. But I think just not being controlling and not thinking that I have the answers, and being kind more than anything, you know. And what does that mean, to be kind? If I'm being controlling, I'm not being kind at all, just being bossy. So letting people find their way, and hopefully by how I live, I hope I can set a good example by my speech, not just talking about being gentle and kind, but for me that's like a really important thing, how I speak. And it's an ongoing work in progress, work of a lifetime, but it's just so interesting and full of challenges and makes you feel really good when you get it right. And I hope I can inspire people with how I speak, because that's where most of our interactions are, or even just visual cues, how we look, how we conduct ourselves, how we are with each other, not wanting to be friends with everyone, basically. That's one of the things I learned after a long... Well, I mean, we all want to be friends with everyone, don't we? That's what you learn in kindergarten, be friends with everyone. But it takes lifetimes to figure out how to do that, how to see the good in everyone, which is so central. And I think if you want to inspire people to ordain, then be that kind of nun where you don't just see the good in everyone, but your every word, your every action demonstrates that. You have no cliques or factions. You are not mean in private or in public. And that's what inspires people to ordain. And that's the only thing that I can think to do. I don't want to control anyone, even though I think you should all ordain.
Ajahn Chanda?
I really love what you just shared, Aya, about not controlling and being open. And I think now that we have a monastery in England, it's a beautiful monastery near Oxford, in a rural part of Oxford. There are women coming who are starting to think about the possibility of ordaining. And I think one of my most important roles is, of course, to provide a peaceful place and a place where people can find solitude, but also a sense of community. So I do try to make the place as inclusive as possible and really let people know that they're welcome, whoever they are. I mean, we have on our website as well that, we support members of the LGBTQIA+ community, and, we are committed to inclusivity, but it's a long journey. And I've noticed what a long journey it is, even somewhere like in the BSWA, where everybody's on the same page. It takes time to really develop truly inclusive communities. So for me, I have to be willing to learn. I have to be willing to take a lot of feedback from people who maybe don't have the same privileges as me, and maybe find it even harder than I did, which was hard. It took me 18 years from the time of my sincere practice to have the chance to take full ordination. That's 18 years of really sincere practice, a lot of retreats and service. So I can use some of those privileges to hopefully help people who have less to have an easier time than I did. And I think really this idea of training comes down to what the Buddha taught. So I've learned from Ajahn that, I don't need to train anyone. The Buddha has it there in the Vinaya. He's left it there as his legacy and as our inheritance. So I think as long as people are practicing the Dhamma to the best of their understanding, by referring to the suttas and the Vinaya as well, I don't need to do much. I just need to provide some encouragement, some inspiration if at all possible. And I guess by being open and transparent, there is one side where we try to model beautiful behavior. We try our best to have wholesome speech, skillful speech, but it's inevitable that that's not going to always happen. So what I try to do is be extremely transparent about my weaknesses. And it's interesting because a lot of people have actually said it's been a relief for them to hear that nuns can feel down, they can feel sad, they can get irritable. It doesn't matter even if you've been in robes for 20, 30 years. If you're not an anagami, a once returner, you're still going to get irritable and, upset sometimes. So I'm very open about that, and I think that makes people feel that they too can walk on this path. They don't have to be perfect before getting in robes. I guess the other aspect of my life is that I am very inspired, and I hope that comes across. Like, I have a love for the Dhamma, and I want other people to kind of catch on to that, to get that feel for the suttas and that experience in their practice where they get a sense of this means something deep. This is different from from what the world has to offer. I could say more, but I think I'll stop there because until I'm actually training someone, it's difficult to say. I suppose I feel that as long as people can communicate openly and have a sense of trust and mutual respect, then we can work through anything. I think it's when that communication breaks down that problems start. Yeah.
Thank you, Ajahn. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, time check. So it's about 3:08, so we can still continue. We'll finish this session at 3:30. Next question, I will start with the ayahs in Santi. So the question is, how has monastic life shaped your understanding of yourself and the world? How has monastic life shaped your understanding of yourself and the world? Who's going to answer this question? Who is the other nun who's there? All right, who's speaking? Huh? Oh, are you like tossing the dice or something? Okay, go for it.
Okay, so, sorry?
Yes, go for it, Ayah.
Okay, okay, so it's not just the monastic life, but more the Buddha's teachings. Is to really, the teaching on conditionality has been exceptionally helpful, and seeing it more and more, understanding, all the stupid things I do and why I do them still. and why all the silly things other people do and why they do these things. Sometimes not exactly why, but the thing is that we are conditioned. That idea, like it's not like, to not take things so personally it's been very helpful. And more you live in a community, sometimes large, sometimes small, and not only just the monastic community, you interact with lots of people. So there's many more interactions and different kinds of situations. And I make plenty mistakes. I do stupid things on a daily basis. So how I can still laugh rather than fall down and cry is when I see, this is coming from the past, stupid habits and things like this. So trying to learn, and hopefully a little bit of wisdom comes in each time I see. And that not blaming myself and trying to not blame other people, and rather just learning from these things because of seeing that conditional nature of all of us. So, of course, during monastic life, you have a lot more time to see, contemplate, and have the kind of right mind frame at times to do this. Because if I was in the busy world, maybe I get carried away and may have not enough time to sort of stop and realize this and get really sucked in with the problems and the sillinesses and beat myself up and get upset at other people's. But I think in this kind of environment, you have more time to reflect like that. So this has been probably one of the most helpful things for me. But there's lots, of course, yeah.
Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Next, can I invite Ajahn Munisara? Ajahn Munisara, are you there?
Okay, sorry, I'm having difficulty figure out how to use mute and unmute. The question is, how has monastic life shaped my understanding of
yourself and the world?
Myself and the world?
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
How has monastic shaped? Yeah, I think monastic life or life, I mean, it's kind of both, isn't it? I think that, yeah, it's just helped me to really develop. Yeah, I mean, all these questions are related, right? Like which teaching has both inspired me and what I've learned. It's this whole opening the door of your heart business. I mean, that's kind of the essence of, I think, all of it in some ways. So learning how to, keep living monastic life and how to, live in communities with all sorts of different people, how to face the different challenges that have come up during my monastic life. It's a lesson in learning how to open the door of my heart to all of it. Whatever situation you find yourself in. I find that, like when I was in Thailand before there was a place that opened up at Dhammasara, I had to learn to love it. It's like the old hippie saying, "Love the one you're with," because whenever you're wishing that, oh, I wish it weren't like this. I want it to be like Dhammasara. I want to have more time to meditate. What's all this learning Abhidhamma going on? It's like the more I fought it, of course, the more I suffered. And so I just told myself, just play along, just play along, just play along. What's going on? And so that's really kind of the motto to live monastic life or any life. You just play along with whatever conditions are arising for you at that time. And I've learned that's really all you need to do. Like all this, like gazillions and gazillions of suttas. I mean, I think the heart of the practice is really learning how to open the door of your heart to what's going on in the present moment. And that's something which teaches you a lot about how to accept yourself, but also how to accept other people, how to accept what's going on, situations around you, structures that are, I'm in Thailand now, so I'm back into this idea of thinking, yes, there's not just personal kind ways that we can hurt other people, but like society's structures can cause a lot of suffering too. And but learning how to just play along with it and just understand, like Ajahn or Venerable Kunika said, that yeah, it's all conditioned. It's all of it is conditioned. So how can you argue with the product of conditions? They are what they are. And the more that we can accept that, because we know that everything is conditioned, the more we can open the door of our heart to it, the more at ease we will be. And so it's seeing not just ourselves, but also our world as being something that's conditioned, and thus it's not just you have to accept it, it's just like there's nothing else you can do. I mean, it's like, how do you argue with a mountain? It's just a mountain. I think that's what they said about Ajahn Chah. How do you argue with a mountain? That's why nobody ever got offended when he told them off. It's because it's like, how do you argue with a mountain? So this is exactly how I feel. I think the more I live life, period, monastic life is my life, but everybody's life. And the more we learn that, yeah, there's nothing to be said. You just accept because there's nothing else to say. There's nothing else you can do. You cannot accept it, and then you're really in the depths of despair. But the moment you can learn to accept it, then the moment a window of ease opens up, and the more you can widen that window, the greater your ease, the less you're suffering. So that's something I'd like to contribute. Thank you.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ajahn Chanda?
Okay, so whilst in many ways I think monastic life in the world can be similar, I think there are certain things about monastic life that have taught me things that maybe I wouldn't have learned in the world. And I think the main one that stands out is, as an alms mendicant, that I depend on the kindness and the gifts of others. And so being a monastic, especially in England, where we're starting something that actually wasn't there, we're starting the Bhikkhuni Sangha, which didn't exist. I've basically had to trust human kindness, human generosity, and so far I'm alive. Even with a very peculiar condition, a gastric condition, where my diet is quite specific and quite tricky at times, it just blows my mind that people will do everything they can to support me. And that just doesn't show that they're kind for kindness' sake. It shows that they're kind because they love the Dhamma and they want to see the Dhamma flourish in the world. So I think it's given me a great deal of faith in the fact that people really do have this wish for truth, for something that gives them hope, and that they also are drawn to people living virtuous lives. People love virtue and they try to develop it in themselves as much as they can. And I guess having encountered so many kinds of people that I would never have come across in lay life, perhaps, in my role at least, it's given me an insight into just how diverse we are, and yet how the human mind is very much the same across cultures, across genders, across race, age, whatever. The human mind is capable of course, deep suffering, but also enormous happiness and enormous kindness and peace. And the only reason that people don't experience happiness and peace all the time is because they make wrong choices. And the wrong choices are conditioned by the way they've grown up, the people they're around, etc., etc. So the importance of wise friendship, community, spiritual friends, good, virtuous friends, whether you're a monastic or a lay person, is really fundamental to whether we can survive and certainly whether we can walk the path of Dhamma. So I guess just to bring that up in essence, it's I guess a feeling that I can't judge anybody because I just don't know what they've been through. I don't know why they are the way they are, but I can assume there's a reason. And also to really trust that everybody really is doing their best. So I think monastic life has given me this even more conviction in the fact that we need kindness to survive and certainly to thrive. Basically, our lives depend on kindness and the goodness of others. So that's amazing, because all of us are here somehow, even no matter what struggles we might have been through in the past, we've still survived. And that's not just through our own efforts, that's due to the kindness of those around us. So that gives me a great deal of respect and hope.
Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Newbury, Ayahupeka?
May I speak something and then hand over to our Singapore sisters, okay?
Sure.
Now, Ajahn Brahm, I really would like to thank you for mentioning this, because if I have not been a monastic, I may never have the chance to listen to this statement that you made during your talks in your rain retreats. You said, we are all part of nature. That intrigues me so deeply, because of that statement that you made, Ajahn, and also because you always told us that there's nobody in here, there's nothing in the world that we should get attached to and all those things. That statement that we are all part of nature, I have been trying to understand the teachings through other Mahayana teachings and all that, because I really feel that what Ajahn said in this one statement really shows that the whole world, if I'm part of nature, the whole world is also part of nature, then why do we have so much differences and duality in our perception of things, in our mind and all that? So Ajahn, I really hope that one day I can really speak to you, to explore further about the true meaning of your statement. Thank you so very much for that statement. It really puts me on a deeper journey inwards into my monastic lifestyle, my monastic livelihood. So now, if it's okay with all of you, I'd like to pass the mic over to our Singapore sisters. Yep, thank you so much.
Yep. So Ayah Sangapa or Ayah Sunyata?
Thank you, Ayahupeka. So this is Ayah Sangapa again. Actually, Ajahn, you give us a lot of mantra. And we are from Melbourne, so the very popular sport, which is AFL. So A stands for acknowledge, F for forgive, L for learn. It's a very meaningful mantra that I can apply to my daily life. Because if, like before, it's very normal for us to make a judgment when things happen to us. It's very instant to come. It's kind of habit, natural mindset. But now I learn how to acknowledge things when things happen. It's good or bad, who knows? So we just acknowledge what happened. Or forgive. Who forgive who? We are not perfect. We make mistake. So when we make mistake, we ask for forgiveness. When people make mistake, people rude to us, people unkind to us, we forgive them and learn from our mistake. Learn from other people's mistake also. So it's very useful mantra, Ajahn. And I think it's monastery, we never bored of what happened in the monastery. A lot of things happen in monastery. So that's how we learn to accepting things. We learn how to flexible for things change. And we learn how to solve the problem in the kind way, gentle way, peaceful way. So thank you, Ajahn, for that.
Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay. I think we would have time for the last question. It's already 3:25. So I'm going to ask the last question here. And I'll start with Ajahn Chanda. So the question is, are you expecting a different question? Apart from offering dana and financial contributions, What other forms of support would you appreciate from the lay community? I think this is an important question, so that at least the lay community knows how to better support the bhikkhunis.
Okay. I mean, the first thing that popped to my mind actually is just to practice, to really understand that what you've got in the teachings of the Buddha, in the Dhamma, and in the Sangha is something so precious that we've probably been searching for so many lifetimes. And it doesn't matter if you think you can do it, if you think you're doing well, it just doesn't matter. This is all the self-view. Basically, just keep coming back to the path, time and again. You know, you can't really go wrong. Maybe this is my over-optimism conditioned by Ajahn Brahm, but I do feel that once we've started, we're not going to forget this path. Even if there's long periods of our practice that seem dry or dark or difficult, you know, I've been there, but one thing I've never done is given up. So I would say don't underestimate yourselves and don't underestimate how strong your practice is. Just recently I was with a friend who's a member of the Buddhist Society, dear to many people here, I'm sure, and she didn't think her practice was so deep, but I went to see her in her last weeks. And she was full of gratitude and love. It was just beautiful. At first, she thanked me for coming to see her, and I thought, why are you thanking me? I should thank you. It's a privilege, you know, to see somebody in the last weeks of their life with just this spontaneous sense of love and gratitude for their life. It was such a beautiful thing to see, and I do believe that's possible, and that will happen for each of us who's tried to live a good life, at least tried our best. So first of all, I would say practice. About bhikkhuni monasteries or about supporting the Sangha in general, please don't always support the big places because they have the facilities that are really great for your practice. You know, the reason they have the facilities is because they've been supported to have those facilities and develop them. So also support the smaller places that are trying to develop those kind of facilities because we need more places. And we need variety, you know, we need different teachers. Of course, there's only one Ajahn Brahm, only one Ajahn Brahmali, only one Venerable Vimutti, etc., and all the other wonderful nuns here. There's only one of each of us. But there are many more teachers, bhikkhunis, bhikkhus who can teach. But we don't have the places, we don't have the support. So see if you can always offer to not just monks, but also bhikkhunis, and maybe some of the places that are newer financially. But you said apart from that, right? So other ways, apart from your practice, hopefully leading to letting go and coming to live in the monastery, is to, deepen that aspiration to take your practice deeper, to come and serve. This is such an important part of the path, and one thing my first teacher, Goenka, taught me, it's in his 10-day discourses when you go to a 10-day retreat, he says you never measure progress by some idea of your meditation, you know. Even if you're getting into jhanas, even if you're getting into really deep stuff, that's not how you measure progress on the path. There are only two ways to measure it, or two really good ways, and that is a sense of gratitude and a feeling to serve others without expecting anything in return. And I really took that to heart, in those first retreats, because what's the point of our practice unless it is developing those feelings of compassion and that wish to help others? I think Ajahn said earlier that, when you practiced and the deeper your practice went, the more you feel like you can't keep it to yourself. It's impossible to do that. You just want to share that with everybody. So if there are teachers who are saying, oh, you don't need to ordain bhikkhunis, bhikkhuni ordination is not important, to me, something must be missing in the practice. I have never felt that I only want to share, the benefits of the practice with one type of person. I've always felt that I want to share it with all beings, every kind of being, not even just human beings. So try to make sure that the places you support are inclusive and support them also through service. Go and stay in the monasteries and ask what's needed and see if you can really lend a hand. See if you can free up, especially the bhikkhuni sangha, from doing so much hard work. I'm not going to complain, but I'm just going to say that I work from 7 in the morning, being engaged with others, pretty much until 11 o'clock at night when I'm not here, which is why I come for my rains. And this is every day. I try to have a day off on a Tuesday, but usually that's when I kind of try and do health stuff and say hello to my family and things like this. So I'm not getting nearly enough solitude or time to myself. And the way to solve that is to have people coming and staying, or people serving from a distance, so you can get involved that way too. And in the case of our monastery, you can actually offer dana, food dana, online. So this is one of the wonders of modern society, and something that we innovated during the COVID pandemic, that people can actually order supermarket shopping or a delivery and send it online. Order it online and then send it through the local kind of delivery routes. So there's many ways to be involved. And lastly, I think, just to pull together, because it's not only you and the Sangha. What I've noticed gives me a lot of joy is seeing that people don't only come to the monastery to meet me, they come to meet each other at this stage. And there's the beautiful sense of community developing. And some of them, like my treasurer, she said to me, I need this community for my practice to really develop, the practice with deep roots. Because we're going to go through ups and downs, and sometimes we need to ask help. So I think Ajahn Brahm's told me also, just don't be afraid to ask for help. Because I think sometimes we're conditioned to think we've got to do everything ourselves. But if you actually are able to receive some support, then your life is enriched, and the person who wishes to give support feels very happy about that. So we need each other. So just get involved in whatever way you can, and find places that are welcoming, accepting, and give you that sense of respect. Yeah.
Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. As she was talking, I was like, she's in UK, that's fine. And then she said, you could do this online thing. So did you all remember what she said? What support she needs? So it doesn't matter where the bhikkhunis are, we should try our best to support them.
Can I just say that you can find us online? It's www.anukampaproject.org. Anukampa means compassion, and it's just spelt the way it sounds, Anukampa. So out of compassion, get involved. Compassion for yourself as well.
Thank you. All right, can I invite Venerable Vimutti?
Okay, so it's about what unusual kinds of support that you can, well, not unusual, not financial, not dana.
Yeah, just what would you appreciate from the lay community besides dana and financial support?
Funnily enough, this morning I was having a conversation with Auntie Chaitasi about something that is relevant to this. Auntie Chaitasi was asking about, what were you asking about, Auntie? About the Vinaya and the Patimokkha and all this kind of thing. And I was saying how I'm still learning. I have a lot to learn. But it's reminded me of a story from one of the rules in the Patimokkha, one of the origin stories, and Ajahn Brahmali can correct me if I get anything wrong, please. But it's a story of some bad monks. And the people in the village didn't know a good monk from a bad monk, and so they thought the bad monks were really friendly and nice and easy to get along with and approachable and always saying, just being jovial and this kind of thing. And then a good monk came to the village, and the people didn't know this was a good monk. He kept his head down, he walked quietly, he didn't seem particularly friendly. They thought he was very sour-faced and boring, and they didn't give him any food. But luckily he came to the home of someone who did know what a good monk was. And that person gave them some food and said, look, there's a real problem in this place, in this town. These monks have really taken over. They've corrupted the families here. Everybody's, their virtue's really sliding. There's no sense of Dhamma practice. I'm ad-libbing now, but you get the idea. So I was saying to Auntie Chaitasi that in the time of the Buddha, the lay people didn't just know what the monks' and nuns' rules were, they were partially responsible for those rules coming into existence, because they would complain if the nuns or the monks would ask inappropriately for things or cause harm to plants or whatever it was. I can't remember now. I'm totally not an expert. but they knew what made a good monastic. And today, can you guys tell me something about the Vinaya? What makes a good monastic? Or how much do you know about it? I think it would be really helpful if a lay community knew something more about the nuns' rules and the monks' rules. So when you come, if you see people looking very unfriendly on the Pindapat line, maybe they're just feeling very quiet, and you can support them to just be very quiet. Or if you come and stay and you get to know the monks and the nuns, maybe you can ask some questions why we do some really weird things. When I first went to stay at Dhammasara, I was like, why are they talking in these really weird ways? Because, you're not supposed to directly... for some things, you're not supposed to use direct speech in asking for certain things, because you're not supposed to be, bossy and commanding and controlling and this kind of thing, which is good. That's good for practice, right? So I was like, why are they talking like this? Just tell me what you want. So it's only after I did Ajahn Maniswara's Vinaya class that I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. So it's helpful if you'll know something more about that. And Ajahn Brahmali's Vinaya translations are available for free on Sutta Central. So they're very readable, and he's very happy to have feedback about errors in them. So there you go.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ajahn Brahmali was trying to keep very quiet, He's like, nothing to do with me. Okay, can I next invite the nuns from Newbury? Ayah Upeka, Ayah Santa?
Ayah Sunyata, please.
Sunyata? Ayah Sunyata?
Yeah, I think this is quite a difficult question in the sense that I think financial support and dana, those are mostly cover the 4 requisites already, so I shouldn't be a very demanding nun. But I think what would be very helpful is also support in our Vinaya practices. So for example, we need people to offer food to us because we can't take food by ourselves unless it's offered. So things like that, little things like, so that we can be purer in our practice. This is, perhaps something that I would very much appreciate. Thank you.
Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, I think, so can I turn over to Santi? I think what you need is someone to do the driving for you, isn't it, Ayah Karunika? That's what we were doing when we went to Santi.
Whenever Kantika will answer, and then I will say a few words afterwards.
So I already feel just incredibly inspired by our lay community. I wasn't brought up a Buddhist, but I'm always just completely overwhelmed by the support and the generosity of the lay community. It brings me a lot of joy. It's hard to sort of think of any other ways that they could support us other than dana and financially. But obviously volunteering is a really good way that you can support the monasteries, and the volunteers provide the backbone of all the stuff, like the driving, offering food. Today we were making some stairs, so upgrading the infrastructure at the monastery. So volunteering is a really wonderful way that people can help us.
And what I would like to add is also good feedback. Good, honest feedback from the lay community is incredibly helpful, because sometimes lay people always say, oh, you're so good, you're so wonderful. But it is also nice to hear sometimes if we did something wrong, if we made some mistakes or something that they thought isn't really okay, to check and ask and help us so that we can actually do things better. And because sometimes we can't see. So not to only just say the good and elevate us, but also to put us in balance and give good feedback, but also giving a bit of benefit of doubt, not to so strongly judge, because when we put on robes, we get projected all kinds of things. Either they are fully enlightened or they are completely scallywag or things like that. But people change over time. So it's nice to sort of have that open mind and give that kind of support when you approach monastics, not to judge them, and just instead have an open mind and see and receive how you can help. But thank you, Venerable Vimuthy, about the Vinaya, like learning Vinaya and helping us and also catch us when we make mistakes, because sometimes this can happen because of lapse of mindfulness. But it is really, really helpful, good feedback, and also good friendship, because this is also another thing that is an incredible support for us. Yeah, having lay people's kindness, friendship, and like Venerable Kantika said, also their own practice. It also inspires, because sometimes lay people say when they come there and they see the monastics, it's really inspiring. But for us as well, when we see the lay people in their busy lives, sometimes it's very stressful jobs and kids and everything, still taking the time to meditate and put in the energy to practice, sometimes really inspires us. So doing your own practice is also a really nice way to support us as well, something that you sometimes don't think about, but it is also a good support. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So I think there's one consistent message from the nuns. And what it is? Practice. Do we hear that loud and clear? Practice. Okay. So we've come to the end of this segment. We are 10 minutes overrun. Before we end this, Ajahn Chanda has a request, and we've not told the nuns about it. We'll want everyone to join. Ajahn Chanda, you want to say something about what you're planning to do?
If that's okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to chant a blessing for Ajahn Brahm. I know
Can
he gets a lot of blessings.
Can all the nuns join in?
They can, but it's a certain blessing. I don't know if you know it. It's a Burmese blessing.
Burmese blessing? Okay.
Yeah, actually, Venerable Upeka knows it. You can chant. Or will it mess up the Zoom? Will it mess up the Zoom? Try, Venerable. Because I'm on live. You might be able to do it. Anyway, I just wanted to offer this, because I think Ajahn just gives and gives and gives. And even today, when you asked Ajahn, like, what can other people do to serve and support you, you said do less for themselves. Just, you encouraged us to do less.
Yeah.
And that's just the selflessness. But actually, we want to support you somehow. And you give so much, and we feel like we can't really give much back. I mean, it's like you once said, giving metta to you is like giving a pound to a millionaire. It's pretty much, he doesn't need a pound, he's got 1 million quid. So anyway, never mind. But I think that I would like to chant this anyway and just send metta to you and to all beings, because you are one among all beings. Sape sata, sape pana, sape bhuta, sape pukala, sape atabhava pariyapana, sabaitio, sabe purisa, sabe ariya, sabe anariya, sabe deva, sabe manusa, sabe viniparika, aveva hontu, abhyapaja hontu, aniga hontu, sukhiyatanam pariharantu, dukkha munjantu, yadalada sampatito, mawe gachantu, kamasaka. So There's 3 big sadhus. You've got to give it everything. No. That's just a practice, okay? That's not the real thing, okay? You got to give it everything. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Ajahn. Okay, so before we close this session, I just want to give a special shout out because to do live streaming and Zoom for the AV team here in Dhammaloka is a technical challenge, a huge challenge. We had the first experience when Ajahn Brahmali was trying to do a Zoom with Sydney, and yeah, there's a lot of learnings from that. But we managed to do it, and I did thank the AV team, but I forgot one person who is very important. That's Jake Mitra. Jake, if you are watching us, or you're not here, if you're watching us online, thank you so much because he has kind of like show us how to do it. Thanks, Jake. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, with that, we would like to invite Ajahn Brahm to do a Dhamma talk. Can you show the screen? To all the other nuns, bye. Thank you so much for your participation. Okay, all right. So let's move on to the Dhamma talk. Move to the... Okay. So, Ajahn, I know you always like to do your talk and whatever you feel like talking, but
yeah,
we have a topic here for you. But I know you will not keep to the topic, but I'm going to still mention it. So the title of the Dhamma talk is, in line with the 50th anniversary celebration, it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and the journey continues. I'm not sure what you're going to talk about. I'm just wondering whether you can tell us any jokes, but anyway, whatever you say, we'll be very happy to listen.
How long do I have?
You have
to live.
For this talk, right now it's what? So I think we're 4 o'clock. We're finishing up at 4 o'clock. You can go over. It's okay. Then we just do a closing.
10 minutes.
Yeah. No, you can do 30 minutes because I think the plan was to do a 30 minutes talk.
Oh yeah, but the time has run out.
You know, it's very hard to get Ajahn Brahm to do anything.
Yeah, because I belong to nature.
Yes.
Yeah. So
we understood that.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, a little Dhamma talk. The journey continues. I'll just do Namo Tassa first of all. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sammasambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sammasambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sammasambuddhassa. Excellent. So the journey continues. This journey never stops. But I always remember whatever I do, wherever I go, I don't really go anywhere. I love to have those perceptions of just not going anywhere, just being here more, and trying to find ways of wherever you are in this world. If anybody asks me to give a talk, it just you open your mouth and the talk comes out. And that's one of the reasons why if ever I can't talk for one reason at COVID time, or you're not supposed to give a talk that night, I'm sure I talk in my sleep. Just that tendency to be able to explain the Dhamma to other people, or to try and inspire other people, and to try and say something which, when you first start talking, you haven't got a clue what you're going to talk about, but nevertheless, the journey continues. It's lovely to call it a journey, and with that journey, when you're always in this present moment, time doesn't really make any matter to it at all, and all that time when you are living your life as a monk, as a monastic, as a layperson, as a Buddhist, you respond to what is needed in every moment. And I'm very happy to have been here to listen to all of the things which people have said about what they think I am, who they think I am. And that sometimes, I'm sure when other people have praised you, sometimes you feel that, my goodness, who are they talking about? But nevertheless, you see there has been a great result. It's one of the reasons why I would ask people, whenever you do receive any praise, please receive that praise. And don't just dismiss it. Don't just think, oh, I'm only a small monk, I'm only a sort of a junior nun, I'm just a baby nun. You're much more than that. And when people praise you, what does it do to you? When people say thank you, and they really mean it, they thank you a lot. When you receive it, number one, you're acknowledging how they feel, and just acknowledging the reality of how they feel. If you just say, oh, that's nothing, what you're actually saying is, I don't believe you, or you're lying, you're saying this for some reason or other, which I can't really understand. They're saying that because what you've done for them has made a huge difference in their life. And you acknowledge that. And you never take a sense of responsibility for it and thinking you're so great and so wonderful. You just rejoice in the fact that you said something which has really meant something to somebody and has changed their whole life. And that's a beautiful thing to rejoice in. So I'm happy to have come here this afternoon and to learn how to rejoice in all the things you've said, about this person called Ajahn Brahm. And thank you for that. What that does, believe it or not, that encourages you, gives you energy. It's a long time ago I'd reject all of that. Oh, yeah. I'm only doing my job. No, it's more than your job. It's more than your job when you do something to serve and help other beings. And when you do serve and help other beings, the results are incredible. And so when somebody just comes up and says thank you to you, please receive it. And don't just reject the thanks and the praise. Because one thing which I have seen, when you do get praise for something, you tend automatically to want to do it again. I'm just thinking that if I just, again, go to Leha, that you are one of the people who just really made this happen today, and this whole idea of the 50th anniversary thing. I didn't do much at all, except to come along and see what's happening. But nevertheless, thank you, Leha, for all that hard work you've been doing. And you should feel very happy with yourself. And everybody else who has joined in and contributed, today and what happened before, you should always, rejoice in what is really good. And when you rejoice in what is really good, it gives you energy, it gives you health, it gives you happiness. And what that means is that I can come next week and ask you to do something else. And you say, yes. It is true, because that's how the world works. And so when you have occasions like this, it's wonderful. The BSWA and all the people involved in this, we've just been not just praising myself, but praising others as well. And it's wonderful to be able to do that. How many organizations get into trouble and we just have a meeting to find out where we went wrong so we don't have to do it again? We kind of never do that. I never think that's really a good way to actually improve. We learn ourselves from our mistakes, and when we learn from our mistakes, we actually grow. And that's one of the things I haven't heard mentioned so much here, that is where we came from. When I first came over to Dhammaloka, over to Australia, I think you all know the story why I came here and why I stayed here, why I haven't been able to leave. And that was because of Ajahn Chah, what he told me. I made that resolution I would never go anywhere except my teacher asked me to go, and I would never come back until he asked me to come back. And then he sent me to Perth about 42 years ago. And once he sent me here, a few weeks later, he had a stroke, he couldn't speak anymore. So he was unable to ask me to come back. And that's why I've been stuck here. Happily stuck here. But it wasn't just for that. It was just, you learn how to grow in a place like this. And you see what everybody, each one of you have done over those years. We said that first place we had in Magnolia Street, a very small house, And because, I love doing maths, even these days I love to do Sudoku puzzles, don't give me any more. I always have to be very careful when I say what I like. People give me so much of it, out of your kindness. But nevertheless, I just remember just looking at the accounts. They're very easy to look at because there's nothing much in the bank. The house was valued at $50,000 in Magnolia Street, and we had $49,000 in debt. That's all we had, $1,000 equity. So we weren't exactly a very promising organization. But you always had that confidence, as we were saying earlier, and that's so important, the confidence, and didn't really have any goals, I must admit. I just wanted to sit there and practice and meditate. But then, of course, these goals tests came up and you just decided to give it a try. Many people at that time thought that we would never survive. They said many years later, they said, well, we saw you as a young organisation, new organisation in Magnolia Street, Buddhist Society, West Australia. But, they never thought that much would come of us. But over those years, that consistency, staying here, doing the best we possibly can, and over those years, see all those milestones, crazy milestones. Just even getting Magnolia Street, getting Bodhinyana Monastery, sleeping on doors. Actually, you got it wrong in many ways. The first place I slept in when I went to Bodhinyana Monastery was not a door. That was like a luxury, sleeping on a door. It was actually, I couldn't find my door. We were so poor that my flashlight batteries ran out. We didn't have any other batteries to replace them. So I got lost in the forest. I just slept to the root of a tree. It's very cold. But then you had a lot of appreciation for how kangaroos must feel and all those other animals. But nevertheless, we just, it was a place to sleep, and I slept in worse places when I was a young monk. And so, little by little, we grew. And as one project was completed, then we looked at other projects, and then we looked at another project. And some of those projects I thought, we'll never complete this. So after we fail at this, then I can retire. No one have any confidence in me anymore. But every time we had a new project, there was always, it worked. And that's a weird thing about the Buddhist Society of Western Australia and every other project we got involved in. Every one of these projects succeeded. Can you know any of the projects which went wrong in all of our lives, Dennis?
Not really.
Thank you. You made me worried there a minute. And sometimes I ask myself, why is that? 50 years have been a really successful Buddhist organisation, community organisation. There are some things which I would always like to emphasise. Somebody mentioned it just slightly when we're talking about inclusivity. We've always made sure we never looked at this as being a Thai Buddhist monastery. And all the people who come here who are Thais, they wouldn't like that. It's not a Sri Lankan Buddhist monastery. It's not a Burmese Buddhist monastery. It's a Buddhist monastery. I always made that very clear to myself and to others. And it's not just disciples of Ajahn Brahm. It's disciples of the Sangha, as I mentioned earlier. And so when you get the foundation pure and inclusive, often you think to yourself, what would the Buddha want this Buddhist society to be in the future? Not what I want to be, not what we have plans to be. How can we know how we can serve as a Buddhist community into the future? And one thing which will have to be is when we have inclusivity. So all types of people from all types of land. This is not an Asian Buddhist community. It's a Buddhist community. Okay, it lives in Australia, but it is much bigger than that. They have all these other organisations around the world which we support. So I think that soon we'll have to adjust the name of this organisation. Instead of the BSWA, Take off the A. Buddhist Society of the World. And then later on we can go further, BSU. Buddhist Society of the Universe. But you can see that sometimes how things limit us. You know, we have all these other organizations we support, we go to, and all the people we saw, you know, overseas in Santi Monastery, you know, over in Buddhist Fellowship in Singapore, and so many other monasteries all over the world. And they come to us, we go to them. It's wonderful that we have these connections with one another all over the place. And I like that, and I want to encourage that. One of the latest places is over in Europe, not just in UK, but over in Poland as well. How many people from Poland come here? There's lots of them. And then we got Sri Lanka, obviously. We've got an Ajahn Brahm Society in Sri Lanka already. But it'd be wonderful to have, you know, all these places which, because we can't support them physically or materially, but we can support them just with inspiration. And for some reason or another, that inspiration works. It can bring people together. And that's also why, in a talk which I gave a couple of weeks ago here, the talks which are given, which are popular here, I get them translated over into so many different languages. And it's not just into Polish. I read the little article in the booklet about some of those talks. About 37 million copies or so of talks have been downloaded in Poland. Is that right?
It sounds right to me.
Yeah. And there's a huge number of people over there who would really benefit from Buddhism, but not just me, from everything. And when we have that great sort of connection with so many people in this world, we can use it to create a greater sense of peace and happiness in this world. The story I was saying was just how when people over in Eastern Europe were asking for some of those talks to be translated into Ukrainian, you know, because, you know, the incredible amount of suffering which war gives to those people in those countries. And, you know, my comment, and that people followed this, thank goodness to them. Can you please also translate those talks into Russian as well? Because you know what people are like. A lot of people feel embarrassed, you know, that their country, you know, gets criticized, you know, because they're not in control of those wars. It's just, you know, some really crazy governments are in control. And so this is one of the reasons why they followed that advice. And these talks are not just for those people in Ukraine, but also in Russia as well. So that hopefully one day that some of those talks can have an effect, and we can have acknowledge our mistakes and don't have any reparations or want revenge. Give forgiveness and learn that you don't need to own land to be powerful. You need to be wise and kind to be powerful. And when everybody can access some of these teachings, they don't need even to be Buddhists. At least they can learn to take the very best of these Buddhist teachings, the kindness, you know, the peace, the forgiveness, and not trying to sort of think justice is getting revenge, but the way we want our world to be for the future is to have a place where everyone can go and see some of the beautiful parts of this world in a state of peace. You don't need to feel afraid. And when you know that your future is going to be safe, and doesn't matter what country or place of residence you come from, you are welcomed as a human being, and you're respected as a human being. You can see just, you know, from all of the talks, you know, from the bhikkhunis, just how they have come from a place of sort of feeling lesser, and that's something which, you know, was harder for me to relate to, but at least they're getting some respect, and hopefully that respect gets greater and greater. But not just people who are of a different gender, but from deep people who have got a different orientation in their life. The LGBTQIA+. And thank you for every one of members of that community who've actually spoken to me without actually knowing you and knowing how you feel. Of course, that I would be inadvertently discriminating against you myself. But once you actually see them, hear them, and see what their problems are, you can empathize pretty easily. And it was still one of those events. I like to get out there. I like to be able to give talks to whomever. And sometimes I go to some crazy places to give talks. I remember one place over here, this guy came up to me and he said to me, he was an elderly guy. Actually, when I say that, he was about 73 or something. Now I'm his age. But he said to me, he was gay, and he said, religion has been very cruel to us. And the way he said that just was like a knife which went right in. And I was heterosexual. I didn't understand what it was like to be gay. I had no personal experience. But when you could feel his pain, then you never wanted ever to be discriminatory against anybody else. And that's one of the lovely things which we can do here. I don't know how many of you belong to LGBTQIA+, but all the people which I have trusted from that community have done wonderful things in this world. And you saw one earlier on one of those talks, not the nun, but one of the monks who gave a talk this morning. Brilliant. I'm so happy that my job is, to use my respect and authority which I have. I often say as an old monk, I've already been excommunicated from Wat Pah, so they can't do anything more to me. So I've often said, doesn't matter that, if you want to be ordained, I'll ordain you if I possibly can. So you're not afraid anymore. Never actually was. You want to make sure this wonderful path is open up to everybody in this world. And any heat which comes, I'll take that heat. I can enjoy a lot. Well, that means also the journey continues to get this Buddhism which we teach in this world to be more, again, inclusive. With that inclusivity and that kindness and care for all beings. How many times have you chanted that? May all beings be happy and well. In that all beings, which one do you exclude? Some of us always exclude something or somebody. That's not being a Buddhist. May all beings be happy and well, no matter who they are. And that really means that, no matter who they are. When you give that kindness to all beings, even the beings who are doing some silly things in this world, blowing other people up, nevertheless, you still give the happiness, the wish for well-being to all beings in this world. And then you can feel the power of this Buddhism. And that's a kind of powerful teaching which doesn't exclude anybody or make anyone afraid. And that's one of the reasons why I think that this Dhamma has grown so powerfully well, in this little city of Perth, spreading to so many places in this world. And I know when I first came here, and some of the monks and my friends over in Thailand said, why do you go into Perth? And I said that because Ajahn Chah sent me here. And he said, don't you realize that Perth is the cause for old age, sickness and death? Okay, thank you for getting that. You asked for another joke. But no, for some reason or other, it doesn't really matter about the place you're in. But what is really important is what you make of what you have. And over all these years, we've managed to keep a very pure and beautiful form of Buddhism, which has been inclusive, and we have managed. And again, it isn't just me. It's each one of you and always being really supportive, even for the Bhikkhuni ordination. You have to thank Ajahn Brahmali for just standing right behind you, saying, yeah, let's do this, and going through whatever we had to deal with. And because of that and many other things which we have done over these years, it's been taking Buddhism, not just Buddhism forward, but taking the culture of our community forward, for everyone who is here. And hopefully not one of you feels you don't belong in this place, no matter where you are from, where you were born. I always remember what Ajahn Chah used to tell me. He used to say, it doesn't matter where you are born. Nationality is just so like worldly idea. But he said what's really important is to tell people, as he would tell people when they asked him where he was born, he said he came from the womb of his mum, his mummy's tummy. That's where he was born. It doesn't matter where your mummy had to be at that time. Look, I always remember, Ajahn Santi. Ask him, where he was born. What nationality is he? Indonesian. He was born in Indonesia. Ajahn Santi. His mother and father escaped on a boat from Vietnam, so his culture was Vietnamese. Went to school in Australia, Australian passport, Australian citizen, but he was born in Indonesia. I kind of like that because it just shows just how everyone gets mixed up. And the more mixed up we are, the more we can identify with one particular culture or one particular place of origin or one particular way of expressing your gender. And where we can have that much more sense of openness, then there's much more freedom and happiness in this world. That's one of our advantages. All of those teachings, what I'm saying, are right there in the suttas. So we don't have any baggage from a past which is kind of tied down to ideas which have long passed their use-by date. And we can create a beautiful Buddhist society of Western Australia where everybody is included, everybody is accepted, and they can grow. I know it's wonderful to be able to encourage more people to ordain, just do it. And I'll tell you one of the things which frustrates me, and that is when good people want to ordain, you can't give them a chance because there's not enough places to put them. I'd like to have so many huts, and so many kutis for male, female, everybody, that everybody, if you wanted to ordain, just come and ordain. Give it a try. But now, there's so many regulations and council approvals and stuff. But one day that might happen. 50s, 60s, I know you understand why there are kind of monastic rules. They're not rules of the Vinaya. They say if you're over 50, in Nuns monastery, they can't ordain you. You can see why, because they haven't enough young nuns to be able to look after the old ones. Really? There's always ways of finding solutions to problems like that. We can always just, what solutions?
Support nuns monasteries.
Yeah, no, it's not just support with funds. It's actually just support with making sure there's opportunities for even nurses to go and look after the old monks. Yeah, I'm sure it can be done. Because look, there's so many people here. I'm just looking at Bill. I don't know why I'm looking at you, Bill. But you've served so much for such a long time. How old are you now? 75. Why can't we just make sort of an opportunity, say for Bill, if he wants to? If you want to be a bhikkhu, why can't we let you come? Give it a try. And sometimes, if you ever had that feeling, I'm just being honest and open, Have you ever had that feeling, Bill? You really wanted to become a monk, and I had to say no because there wasn't a space for you. That really hurts me. I feel that in all those years of being a leader of this community, I haven't done my job to make these things possible for you. I'm just being for the journey continues for the future years. We don't discriminate against your gender identification, male, female, your LGBTQIA+. Why should we discriminate against age? It's only a practical thing at the moment, but please help us find the solution to that. And when we can, what a beautiful place this will be. I'm sure, I hope it can be done. I might get frustrated and not be able to do it, but all of these things should try and give it a try. Right, Dennis, would you like to be a monk? He serves so much. Anyway, don't tell your wife, otherwise she'll come and do something, I don't know. But anyway, and we do this. Do you want to be a nun over there? I say these things because you value, the experience of being a monk or being a nun so much. Why should you keep it to yourself? If it's at all possible you want to share it with others, why not? Fung, would you like to be a nun? Yes. There we go. Okay. A lot of times, you see the beauty of this lifestyle. It's wonderful if we could actually make it happen. Okay, I'm only just fantasizing, maybe you might think, but people thought I was fantasizing when we thought we could have our own retreat center. Our own retreat center with your own ensuite. Everyone, so that's a ridiculous idea. But you stand your ground, you make it happen. And Nuns monastery. And a Nuns monastery in the UK as well. That was a kind of ridiculous idea.
You admitted it.
Oh yeah. I love ridiculous ideas because they work. So what other ridiculous ideas can we have at Brahmali?
Nuns monastery in Sri Lanka.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's coming. That's happening.
Yeah,
Nuns in Poland.
Maybe something in Poland. See what happens.
Norway
maybe. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
something's happening.
It's happening.
Gender inclusive monastery.
Gender inclusive monastery. Good idea?
Yep.
How many people think that's a good idea? Okay, if you're nodding it. Yeah, excellent. Great. So let's do it. So that's the next journey continues. I haven't got a clue which one of those is going to get the traction first, but we'll just see what happens. And so our Buddhist society, we've done so much already to create new ground, so why can't we take it further? Instead of sitting down on our laurels and just think, I've served enough, well, let's see if we can serve some more. Why not? Thank you. Is that okay? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Excellent.
Thank you, Ajahn Brahm. Jack, can you show the next one? Okay, so thanks to Prem's suggestion to include this, so we would like to invite Ajahn Brahmali to lead this.
Okay.
Okay, everyone. So now is a chance to ask for forgiveness, which is a wonderful opportunity. And one of the things what was I going to say now? I forgot what I was going to say already. Yeah, but
I forgive you.
I forgive you. Yeah. It's a wonderful thing to do, to be able to forgive or to ask for forgiveness occasionally, because everyone does things that we are not 100% proud of or kind of happy about. And even if it is a private thought even that you have, you can ask for forgiveness for that. And you'll be surprised, there's actually an example of this in the sutta. There's a monk who is in the presence of the Buddha, and he has some kind of thought about the Buddha. This monk is asking for too much, just a private thought. And then after the Buddha has left, he travels like 500 kilometers or something to meet up with the Buddha to ask for forgiveness for that thought that he had. And that's kind of beautiful, yeah? It's kind of loosening up something inside which maybe you're not quite happy about. Which means that everyone can ask for forgiveness. There's probably not one person here, myself absolutely included, who has never had a bad thought or had some kind of stupid, silly thing that they have done. So this is a great opportunity, and when we do this is one thing I learned from Ajahn Brahm. When you ask for forgiveness, you should always do it sincerely, coming from your heart. That's such an important thing, and then it really works. So I'm going to come down here as well. So monastics, would you please join me? It's appropriate to ask forgiveness from a low position. So
shall I come down too?
You have to sit there, Ajahn. This is your job. So we're going to start with it. First of all, bow 3 times, everyone. And then Namo Tassa together. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. And now we're going to do do it in Pali language. It's on the screen over there. So the monastics will be leading. Acharye pamadena dvaratayena katang sambang aparadang kamatuno bante. Acharye pamadena dvaratayena katang sambang aparadang kamatuno bante. Acharye pamadena dvaratayena katang sambang aparada kamatuno bante.
It's up to me now to say Ahang kamami tum he hipi me kamitabang, which means I forgive you, please forgive me.
Kamama bante.
And now I give a blessing for your happiness and well-being. Nati me saranang anyang buddho me saranang varang dhammo me saranang varang sangho me saranang varang etena satchawajena sotite hotu sabada.
Sadhu. Please, 3 times.
No, you don't have to ask forgiveness again for that.
Okay, that's good. And so now we're going to share the merit. I guess we're going to sit here while we're sharing the merit. We're going to do the traditional sharing a merit chant with all relatives, etc. So here we go. Edang men yatinang hotu Sukhita hontu nyatayo. Edang men yatinang hotu Sukhita hontu nyatayo. Edang men yatinang hotu Sukhita hontu nyatayo. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay.
So this is not just for you, all the things we've been doing today has a huge effect on everyone we know and all our relations in particular. So every relation you have in this world, please, we share the merits with them, and may they rejoice, even though they may not know what's going on here. May they rejoice anyway in our goodness. Sadhu, sadhu,
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Yeah. Okay, so shall we finish off with Arahang? Is that a nice thing to do?
Yeah,
or
sure.
Yeah. Sorry, please. Yeah, you're the boss. More? Okay, more. Okay, please.
We have.
I think.
Okay, you can get up, yeah.
Sorry about that. Nim, where are you?
Thank you.
Okay. So, next slide.
One more slides.
So, Nim, come forward. So, we've invited Nim to do the closing for us, and then we can pay respects.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Ajahn
afternoon.
Brahm, respected members of Sangha, distinguished guests, and dear friends. It is an honor to be with you as we celebrate Ajahn Brahm's extraordinary 50th year as a Bhikkhu. This occasion is not just a recognition of time past, but a heartfelt tribute to a life dedicated to Buddha's teachings and betterment of countless lives. Ajahn Brahm's journey, guided by his determination to embody the Dharma, has blossomed into a global source of inspiration for individuals and communities alike. Over these 5 decades, Ajahn Brahm has personified the virtues of wisdom, compassion, and humility while dedicating himself to spreading the Dharma. His unique ability to present Buddha's teachings with warmth, humor, and made the Dharma accessible to many. Through his words and actions, Ajahn Brahm has illuminated the path of mindfulness and kindness, offering practical guidance that brings clarity, peace to life's many challenges. Today, we honor not only Ajahn Brahm's teachings, but the examples he has set in living in accordance with the Dharma. His strong commitment to the path has brought light to those in darkness, strength to those in need, and joy to those who seek understanding. His life is a reminder to the power of embodying Buddha's teachings with sincerity and compassion. I would like to take this opportunity to express my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who made this celebration possible. To Leha and the organizers, volunteers and speakers, thank you for your tireless efforts and creativity in making this event a success. To the monks and nuns who participated in panel discussions or engaged in Ajahn Brahm in dialogue or attended this event in person, thank you for enriching this celebration with your wisdom and presence. To those watching on live stream, thank you for joining us and being part of this global community. To our wonderful local community, thank you for showing up and making this a joyful and memorable occasion. On behalf of everyone present, we offer our deepest gratitude to Ajahn Brahm. As we reflect on this milestone, may we recommit to practicing mindfulness, cultivating compassion, and embracing the joy and wisdom that Ajahn Brahm has so beautifully shown us. Thank you all. May we carry this inspiration with us as we continue to walk this profound path. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Yeah, quick word for you, Ajahn Brahm. In 2012, I went on a retreat in Jhana Grove, and I got this idea, crazy idea, that I wanted to organize a retreat, and I came to you. I think that was my first conversation with you, and I said, I wanted to do this retreat. And Ajahn Brahm said, yeah, go ahead and do it. So that was my first ever retreat, and I organized it, and it went really well, and it actually kick-started my journey on this path. Thank you for your time
You're
and
welcome.
all
Thank
your
you.
teachings.
Okay, so we're done for the day. Thank you everyone for coming. Do you want to pay respects to the Buddha Dhamma Sangha?
Oops.
Okay, thank you everyone for coming. End of the show.